Greetings, clobberers and clobberettes. Welcome to Clobbering Times, Clubby's Clubhouse number 39. That worked out perfectly. Hey, my friends. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
Indeed.
And you also got to hear one of my neighbors speeding by in their loud car.
Well, it
I
adds
couldn't hear
character.
that.
I heard it. It adds character. Oh, yeah, I like it.
Were they doing were they breaking
with
warp 5? I hope not.
Look,
I have no
there's
problem with
an
motorcycles.
intergalactic treaty about that Mark D with a C.
I like motor scooters, so that's perfectly fine with me. Hello, my good friends and buddies out there in the Clobberverse. Welcome to Clubby's, CLOBBERIN, Clubhouse thingy or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know what it's called anymore. But it's here
You're
for
at
you.
Clubby's Clubhouse, everyone.
Yes, that's good enough for me. Yeah, that's good enough. Hello there. Well, let's say some hellos first. We'll do show notes and all the other crap later. But first, I'll say hello to my wonderful first officer, the extraordinary, greatest first officer in the fleet, RM, Commander RM Briggs. Welcome, my friend.
Well, thank you for the warm welcome. I love you. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. And it's pretty easy to be a decent XO when you have a captain like I have. I love you very much, Clubby. I am reaching across the room to grab a hold of Mark, give him a tap. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Awesome.
Yep. Everyone in the chat, especially our wrenches, shout out to Chris Persia for helping to promote the show tonight, and of course to the great Eric K and everyone else helping out tonight. We got a good one for you.
Yes, indeed. And also, of course, the great Mark D with AC, the chief engineer. What's up? Welcome. What's going on, bud?
Not much. The my better half, my much better half is away. So we're gonna have a 3-kegger tonight. I can be really loud tonight on YouTube. No, just kidding. So just me and my son here. The other son is off with his girlfriend.
Have you ever done that?
Vacation.
Have you ever done that inverted keg thing? I've never done that keg thing.
The keg stand?
That's what it's called. Keg stand. Can you tell I'm a nerd?
Stand. Yes. The inverted. Yeah. Flip 180 degrees. No, usually you say the upside down drinking thing. Yeah. But no, you should never do this. But at one point, there was a rumor that someone at a party that I was at had one of those funnel doohickeys, and Papa Bear Dad came by and said, "That's bullshit. Give me that. No, none of that." But yeah, never try that at home, kids.
Was this a very thick Swiss accent?
Yes, it was. Yes, very heavy.
I know it. I know what you're throwing down right now.
Mark
got in trouble. He got in trouble.
Yeah, so never do that, kiddos. But yeah, no, I'm pretty tame now. But yeah, I was joking because sometimes I got to be quiet here because my wife, God bless her, is a very light sleeper. So a couple times in the past, I think at the Christmas party, I think I woke her up because I was drinking on air. We had that fun night. Not that we don't have fun nights, but yeah, I was getting kind of loud.
We all got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
I didn't. But I would I? Well, that's fantastic. Just glad you're both here, and I'm glad our amazing chat is here. And as you said, we have Raquel. We of course have our wonderful, great 2 wrench friends, the amazing Mark D with a C. Oh, I already mentioned him. We don't need him anymore.
Yeah,
I met Eric K.
Him, yeah.
Eric K.
Yeah, he's much better.
Yeah, he's way better than Mark. Just kidding.
Yeah, much better.
No, seriously, we have the great Eric K here with us. The great, sorry, I'm having some trouble with my computer going crazy. The great Chris Persia, who's just always just so supportive and so helpful, and we just really appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much.
Billions of kisses for both Eric and Chris.
You'll have to take care of that.
Oh, I will take I will take care of that. That will be my duty. No problem.
Yes,
I don't mind at all. I love those guys.
I'm sure they won't be offended if they don't get any kisses from us.
No.
I'm sure they're fine not getting any kisses from Mark or myself. That's your yeah. I'm not speaking for Mark now. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get to I'm having some trouble with getting over to my comments thing.
Personal confuser, as the great Leo Laporte from Twit TV would say.
Slow indeed.
I love it. Personal confuser. That's what you'd call it. Yep.
quick show note, then we'll start our goodbyes, our hellos, goodbyes, hellos, whatever you want.
That's a good Beatles song.
God damn, I can't even get that right. Folks, well, Saturday Night Star Trek is a landmark, not because of these movies, because after this week, we are done with this crew. I'm done with them forever. Except until I hate watch Be Hard season 3, because it goes without reason.
Yuck! Why no?
I said hate watch.
Well, it's supposed to be good according to RMB, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think he's trolling you.
Think he's trolling me?
Well, it's tough. It's tough to believe. But I mean, he didn't say good. He said better, best one they made since 2000, whatever. So
you're saying there's a chance?
No.
Oh, no.
Anyway. Saturday Night Star Trek, same Trek time, same Clubby channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to say goodbye to this crew. Can't wait for the following week. Because it's going to be something.
Oh, the Baku.
Good Lord. Anyway, where were I? Oh, and Monday night, are we on Monday night for our Hulk thing comic review? Mark D, or
next Monday.
The week after, not next Monday. The week after. I mean,
the week after should be okay. Yep, but not next Monday. Yep.
Gotcha. So next Monday night, or this coming Monday night, it'll just be me geeking around about comics. But the following week, we've got some comic book reviews in our future. They're great. Mark D with the CNI, and a week from this coming Monday night, we will review in a classic comics, CLOBBY'S classic comic review fashion. Yeah, I know I can't talk tonight, but when can I ever talk?
That's okay.
The Marvel graphic novel, The Incredible Hulk and the Thing, The Big Change by Jim Starlin and Bernie Wrightson. And August the 1st, on a Monday night, the great J-Man and I will be reviewing Batman number 21 for no good reason that I could even think of, just because we want to hang out with J-Man. That's all.
Oh, I love J-Man.
I like reviewing comics, and I like reviewing with J-Man and Mark, so we just kind of threw that one out there. So anyway,
that'll be fun. Yep,
that'll be fun. Anyway, let's say some hellos now to our wonderful friends who are here with us tonight. Gwagnar, hey,
Gwagnar.
That's indeed always good to see you, and thank you for those kind words. The great phantom outsider was a man. He was a big man with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. I just want to show Phantom Outsider. Look, the word "was" is not implying anything. You do you, buddy. Man, let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find some more here. I had to pull my chat way back, everyone, so be patient. And I'll do chat moving music. The great Hungry Boy, or Hungry for acumen to supersede fake resumes. Wow. My goodness. Whoa. No buttered scones for me, mother. I'm off to play the grand piano.
Okay, and if you're new around here, Hungry Boy just has a clever handle that he changes all of the time, but he's actually a pretty famous and very talented comic book artist and perhaps author. But he is here under the veil of anonymity for obvious reasons. Still, please make sure that you pay special attention to the comments he makes. He will make very cerebral comments and technical comments about comics, about fine arts. He's just a delightful person all the way around. And also the official artist of the paperback version of my book and the hardback dust jacket for my book. So hail to the great Hungry Boy, who will have great comments tonight.
Hungry Boy, good to see you here, buddy. The great Kal-El, the Super One. What's up, Bob? Good to see you, my friend.
Hello.
Let's see who else. Of course, the aforementioned and great J-Man is here with us tonight. Hey, buddy.
Speaking of great people, please make sure you follow Jason. Follow him to his channel. Go to the J-Man's YouTube channel. It is listed in the info about this show. Jason is an author. So is his wife. They have a YouTube channel. Jason does great articles or does great interviews, but he is a published author, Canadian author. He's really, really great, and you should support his work. He supports my work. It's really difficult to get noticed when you're a Canadian author. So please support J-Man and his lovely wife, both very talented people.
Midnight Sands After Dark. What's up, Tomo? Good to see you. Sorry I was
Tom.
not able to make it there tonight, my brother. I apologize. Hope you guys had a great stream. I'm sorry about that, man. I wish I could have made it.
Tom!
Good to see you, buddy. Hope you are doing well, sir. Larry. See, I gave you a lot of Larrys this time.
Well, you know, you can say it twice, but you ought to say it thrice, because then it emphasizes what a magnificent gentleman he is. Larry!
A new person in the chat, someone I've not seen before, Lester Eubanks. Hello there, Lester. Welcome to Clobbering Times.
Lester, saddle up, lock and load. You're going to like tonight's show.
I tell you what, it's good to see you. Oh, our wonderful.
What if he's related to Bob?
Bob Eubanks.
I don't know.
But hi, Lester. Yep.
We don't want to pry into Lester's business. We just met him.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Good to see you, Lester. Our wonderful communications officer, NT Derivative Jill.
Dun, 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 dun.
Love you, Jill. Good to see you. And of course,
our Canuck friends.
Our great Bronze Wrencher Eric K for the $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, "Who is this Mark D with the C guy?" I don't know, but I'm getting really tired of his crap. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, all this enabling crap.
He's enabling
crap.
Yeah, he's not a very
making me buy stuff.
And he sent another gift
nice.
to you, boss. Like they're happening in rapid succession. Eric K, I love you. Thank you for that. Next
okay. Oh, thank you. I thought you meant. Okay. Oh, hang on a second. Man, there's so many. I'm just making sure I get everybody. This thing jumps on you nowadays. Minimusness is here. You could say his name if you'd like to.
Minimus. Claude Parrish. But all the Americans don't speak French, so they call him Claude. And Claude Parrish, Mr. Parrish, Minimus, says, "I like that painting Hungry Person did for Raquel. You've seen it?" Ah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I only got to see the rough. Claude, that Claude guy.
Maybe he's seen some. I don't know. Don't ask me. Thank you again for Eric K for that other $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. Oh, Wendy Webb, the lovely Wendy Webb is here. It's always nice to have the ladies pop in. It's great to see
Wendy.
you.
But she's not feeling well. She says that she's going to lurk tonight. She has to stay in the background because her tummy is upset. Wendy, I'm sending you a hug. I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yes, indeed.
I hope we feel better.
Yes.
You're supposed to have the gok has got to be live. Don't eat the dead stuff. Yep.
Yeah, eat live.
Otherwise,
you'll get food poisoning if you eat dead gok.
Yeah.
Well, yes, feel better indeed. Feel better indeed, love. So what are we doing first tonight? I guess we could just get the Horville out of the way.
Sure.
We go deal with that or what?
Well, I always ruin everything for everyone. So
don't worry about that. No,
let Mark go first.
Just
let
be
Mark
honest.
go first. Yeah, just be honest. Yeah, the last time I went first, well, it was all good. It was all good. But you always pointed out some things that I didn't think of, which is always welcome. Always keep an open mind and listen to all opinions. So I guess I can go.
First if you don't feel like it.
No, I don't mind. I can handle it. I've got semi-tough, rocky skin.
Now, keep in mind, the reason why number one is doing that is because. Oh, hello, Six.
Hey, Six.
Hey,
hello, gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and look at she's continuing
thing.
with our agreement to harass you. Six, I love you,
Six.
Sweetness.
Well, I think I might be getting there finally. For the longest time, and I have had reasons. I've had reasons I didn't want to, Six, but I guess I'm going to be doing it soon. I really don't know how to do it that well, but I'm really not that versed on how to do that kind of thing. And I haven't wanted. I have reasons why I've held back on it, but it's not like I don't hear you or understand what you're saying, and also and appreciate it. So I do all those. The lovely Six, thank you so much for popping in. You are wonderful, and she's an extraordinary lady, and it's great to see you.
And I should point out too, that I am an academic and I have been studying and teaching authorship and broadcasting and communications in general for around 27 years. So Mark is an engineer. And so
I are an engineer.
Yeah, IR an engineer.
Hey, Dave
So
Bob.
if he doesn't notice some of this stuff, it's definitely not because he's dumb. It's just because he hasn't studied it. So I don't want anyone to feel like guilty or left out or feel like, like why didn't they notice that? Because I've dedicated my whole life to doing this. And so I merely let you peek underneath the veil of storytelling so that you can see the stories the way that I do. But it comes with no judgment. If you love the episodes, I want you to continue to love the episodes and don't listen to silly old me. I'm just an egghead nerd.
But reason why we're talking about going first and whatnot is because none of us have discussed what we think about the episode yet with each other.
Yep.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one knows. Yep.
This is not Saturday Night Star Trek, so we could, and I wouldn't care, but Raquel didn't want to. So,
Yep,
well, because people at home, like the chat, I love the people in the chat. Like our community is pretty tight. Like our Saturday Night Star Trek family and our Clobbering Times 735ers and Clobberers. We're a pretty tight knit family. We're a great crew, and so I always feel like I'm sneaking around whispering in ears if I talk about it before I discuss it with them. So I love this organic feeling of just saying what we think in front of everyone and letting the discussion flow naturally that way. And I think everyone at home really loves it.
Yep. So, well, there you go. I guess we will get a move on.
All right. So
And start out. Everyone who, if you've not seen the episode and if you don't care about spoilers, hang on, whatever. But if you do, and Dave Bob, good to see you there, buddy.
Hey, Dave Bob.
If you, however, if you're someone who does not want to be spoilered, you have this. We're alerting you now, and you'll have this visual run across the bottom of the screen. If you turn on the mute, and then later, when you see this off, that will mean we're not spoilering it anymore. So when this is on, we're spoilering. And our wonderful, Retro Blasting, my fantastic friend Retro Blasting is here. Love Michael and Melinda. Good to see you both. Michael, I think it's Michael. He says, Raquel, gosh, I know how you feel. I'm a lifelong communications and writing professional also. And
lovely.
10 years on social media. It's always angry comments saying I'm trying to be better than them. Oh, he takes so much. He gets so much crap you would not believe us just for having opinions and expressing them well. And when you do that, I've always said, it's always been a saying of mine. I've said this to Michael a lot. I said, you want to make an enemy? Express an opinion. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
A good and valid opinion.
Let me modify that. A critical opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if it's usually if it's just I love this or that opinion, it's not so much.
Yep.
But
6 is looking out for spoilers, boss.
Okay, there you go. And yes, 6, like I say, when this thing's off, we're not spoilering anymore. So,
yeah.
All right, but yeah, a positive opinion, no one really cares. But if you have a critical opinion of something, you will have an enemy, no matter how mellow you are in expression or anything. Keely Chow, good to see you there. And now,
hey, Keely, hey man, how's it going?
Good to see you, Keely. Roll Tide. We will get started on our review of this latest episode.
Spoiler away. All right. So 6 hopefully won't be too long, and you can be back. But to start with, I did like this episode. In the beginning, I wasn't sure if it was a Kaylon plan to. The episode opens with the Kaylon being delivered to that house, and the kids are like, "Oh, Dad, is this a new gift?" And you're like, "What the heck is this?" Excuse me. Who are these people? And then you see it's a Kaylon. And you're like, "Wait, is this a new plan for dominating the galaxy?" And you're like, no. And pretty quickly you realize it's a flashback to the origin of the Kaylon, which was interesting. So I did like the way that the Kaylon was becoming sentient, and you can see the questions that the what was that? What was it called in the episode? The character, the robot. Oh, K1.
K1.
Yeah. So K1 starts asking questions. Hey, JD. Yep. And
JD.
the dad is like, you only speak when spoken to. Go clean up. Don't ask anything. So, I wonder if the family would be that mean to the robot. But I guess that's what
Well, it's not really a robot. Excuse me for 1 second. I do have to say good night to Jason and his lovely wife. Don't forget to follow J-Man on YouTube, and please
All right,
carry
Jay.
out those URLs by getting to his Amazon and supporting his authorship. Good night, Jason. Thank you
good,
for
Jay.
being here.
And by the way,
care,
Jay, in a couple of weeks, we're going to do that show I mentioned earlier where we try to find out if there's anything that I love that you hate, because I hate so much that he loves. And we've just decided that on his show when he was doing his show tonight. We're going to have a J-Man Clobber Times challenge soon, just for the fun of it. See, because he likes so much stuff that I'm worried about him, actually, because some of the stuff he likes makes me question him. But it allows me to pick on him. So I love J-Man. He's great.
That's why. Yeah. So, I know he's not a robot. Initially, you think he's just the viewer knows he's a Kalon, but initially you just think it's a robot that's just a servant. If you just watch this episode cold and didn't know anything about, the Orville. So I thought they were very, very, obviously I think they're setting up the family as being, really abusive to the, to K1, and the kids were over the top. And then once they've got that device, almost like the agonizer, where they can just keep turning the robot or agonizing the robot on and off, was, very, very cruel. So I know they were maybe setting that up. I can't imagine like everyone would be that mean to a robot. Of course, it's an allegory for slavery. So as Hungry Boy said, you could see what's happening a mile away. But I thought it was well done on the questions K1 was asking. Why is everyone else not partaking in the deeds? And sometimes as a dad or mom, or you feel like that too. How come no one else is helping here right now? So that's I thought that was very humanizing question to ask. And then of course you've got I guess you call it the C subplot with John.
C-plot, A-plot, D-plot.
D-plot. There were a lot of plots. The one thing, there were way too many plots. So you had the Lamar and a subplot with the security chief, and they're having a little too much fun, and things get broken. And I thought that was a little ridiculous, that subplot, although it did have some funny lines. And I guess if you're taking that. The humor wasn't too bad.
The humor's back this week.
Yeah, that was that's kind of Orville humor. I thought, although John, I don't know, as cute and as fun as it would be, maybe I don't know. I was watching those scenes waiting for a snap, or I'm like, maybe I won't. Maybe I would have bowed out a little bit earlier, even though they can fix you up pretty quickly. So the joke about maybe you could wear a helmet, or That was typical Orville fun stuff. Now the romance, of course, we find out with Isaac that he could get an emotion chip. I'm going to try to go more quickly, but Timus is the Kalon Timus, who's been modified to have basically an emotion chip, just like Data. And what's interesting is Dr. Finn. I don't know how believable that is, that she's in love with Isaac. And we saw that happen with saw that happen with Data. What happened in Next Generation, which I thought was a well done episode in terms of how it would probably go if Data was trying to date.
But both women in TNG, both women, it was obvious that both women were not psychologically in a good place. So they were looking for a man who was inaccessible for, well, in Tasha's case, for a very specific reason.
She was she wasn't really in love with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that there's something quite different happening here, and you're right to point that out, because here we have somebody who's cognizant. They're cognizant of what she's cognizant of what she's doing, and she has not been emotionally mutilated to the point where she's sort of scared and doesn't know what to do with herself, and is looking for, and I'm sorry to say this, but for lack of a better way of expressing it, a Steely Dan. And that's what's happening in TNG, and something here is quite different, because she's trying to say, well, you're my Steely Dan, but you're also my boyfriend. So so I'm just wondering how, the actress is Penny Johnson, or Penny Gerald, I guess she's fantastic in the role, and they did her hair differently, and made her look a little bit cuter in this episode, and the dress was
that was a nice touch. Of course, the great sci-fi part of the episode I thought was, the scientists, they find these Kaylon that have been, injured after the big battle. 2 were dead, and of course, Timus is the one that's almost completely wrecked, and the scientist is able to modify the Kaylon so it now has emotion and it realized what it's done is wrong, and all biologicals aren't evil. So I really like that part of the episode and that plot through. The only thing that really threw me off was letting this Kaylon onto the ship. What are the safety protocols? They should have had something, talked about some kind of safety safety or security, just in case, they're taking this scientist's word for it. How do you know that once this new Kaylon
it tips
comes
you
on
off
the ship?
as to the thought process of the author, right? And I'm going to get into that when I take the floor. But I want you to set this little page. I want you to dog ear this page of your thoughts, because you'll see why they put no emphasis on the scary aspects of having these evil robots who want to wipe out all biological life forms, why they allowed onto the ship, why they don't deal with that, and they don't emotionally unpack it. And there's a reason why the authors have not done that. So dog ear this page, and I will get to it when I talk about my comments. And I'm glad you noticed that, Mark.
Larry,
I noticed.
Larry, yeah. You were so right about that. My goodness. It's true. The K-line origins are from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. They really,
Right?
no, they really are.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Wow, it's the same story.
And Retroblasting was mentioning.
Yeah,
I keep
K1
saying
robot.
K1. So here's my K. Oh, come on, focus.
You're blurry.
I'm blurry. Yeah,
You're
I'm
going to
very
pull
blurry.
out there, and
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
yeah, and
There's my K9 Christmas
There you
ornament, but
go.
I keep him on my desk. So
Affirmative, master. Where is the doctor?
yeah. So yeah, so K1 or K9. Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so I thought that was one big missing part of the episode. There should have been some kind of security protocol, just in case the this robot went bad. I mean, some people don't even trust Isaac, and of course, then you got the other subplot of the Sissians, whose name I think is probably something something to that as well.
Sissians or whatever. What are they called?
Genesi?
Genesi.
I thought it was
if you're talking about the matriarchals,
okay, yeah, the matriarchals.
They were
was it
Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, Genesis. Okay.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that was
Something
an
like
interesting, another interesting, almost like
the 5-10 plots in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, opposite of all male race. So you've got
the
those
Mocklins, yeah.
Mocklins together, and that was a little ridiculous not having trying to fake the captain, switching the captainship around and trying to fake that. Wouldn't they have noticed, like, hey, it's all, wouldn't they have known that the Union has males and females equally and aliens all together, serving? I mean, that seemed a little disingenuous and more done for the expediency of the plot. I found it interesting, but I thought it was a little bit too convenient to contrast them to
Little
the
too
Mocklins.
Angel One.
Yeah, a little too Angel One, and the men are subservient, but the women can. And then the big coup de grace was, well, the women can sleep with whoever they want, and Ed let his woman sleep with whoever he wanted. So it was just a little bit too neat of a setup. And okay,
dog ear that page as well, because I'll be getting to that as well. Mark, great point.
K9, that's a Hallmark ornament, I think. So it's an ornament that you can find. But he's too cute, so I leave him on my desk.
Steve Mitchum.
Maddie's daddy is here.
Daddy's Maddie.
Hey, Steve. Yeah.
Maddie's dad.
So yeah, so that part I thought was there was a lot of overall I did like the episode, and of course we find out what happens in the Kaylon, how the Kaylons were able to set up their own interweb or network, modify themselves so they had those creepy laser guns and they go to annihilate everyone on the planet. And that's an interesting sci-fi theme that, of course, has been done to death, with the Terminators, and of course, if you go back to the Outer Limits, Demon with a Glass Hand, way back, back in the 50s or 60s, that episode. But it's a fantastic sci-fi theme to explore. What happens when our computers, get that powerful and intelligent. Of course, you just had that engineer from Google who got in trouble with them for saying that, allegedly that computers, the super project they're doing became sentient. So that's something that could be reality. So, who soon enough, we've got drones right now on battlefields. So what happens when those drones go autonomous, or when drones can make drones? So that's a great theme to explore. And I thought that part was interesting. Of course, it was so tragic to see then the Kalon goes in and kills the parents. And then I'm like, oh my God, are they going to show the Kalon killing the kids? Of course. And then they pulled out, didn't show the scene, thankfully.
That's American law, isn't it? I believe you're not allowed to kill anyone under 11 years of age on a cable television show. Otherwise, it has a different rating or something to that effect. I believe that has something to do with your viewers' standards and broadcasting standards. So we knew that he did it, but certainly, the only reason why they backed out of that room was due to those broadcasting standards. Hello, Pop Culture
Curator. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. So, Hungry Boy's getting very enthralled by my review, I guess. But that comment, I was laughing. It was on Hulu now, so there's probably not the same restrictions. But I'm glad no one wants to see that. So that's a tragedy to the Kalon. And then the last part, of course, is the reconciling. Or there's Isaac, of course, getting his emotion chip, having it fail. I thought that was an interesting scene, and that was probably the best part of the episode. I thought Isaac realizing how wonderful it was to have emotions, and Claire, reciprocating, and that dinner that they had, and of course it helps that the actor's got his, that's really the actor, of course, inside the suit. So of course he probably loves getting that chance to be outside the suit. I thought that was a really nice and touching scene.
Did you catch the name of the guy who created the corporate baddie, on Kalon?
Oh, I forgot. I didn't catch that. What was this?
Elon.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later.
Yep,
I caught that too.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but Clobby did, and Raquel. Good. And then, of course, the reconciliation with Charlie. I did like that, but I'm wondering if that was too soon, if that should have taken a little bit longer. And I thought her speech was a little bit heavy-handed in the end, in terms of slavery is one of the most horrible things that can be, but does that excuse exterminating the whole race and innocent kids and innocent people, too? So of course that could be machine logic gone wrong. But I thought Charlie was a little bit too. I could see where she maybe would understand where Isaac was coming from a little bit, and maybe open up to him just a little bit more. And that was a nice scene where Isaac says, your inferior intelligence wouldn't help me chart the with the recalibration of the engines. And then he asks, maybe you could help me. And then she kind of smiles and helps. So I thought her speech was just a little bit too I'm trying to find the right word, but too didactic, if I'm going to steal a word from Raquel.
You're not stealing the word from me. I taught you the word. That is a word from graduate school, and I love that you're using it because it is precise diction. Didactic means you're being over-moralizing to the point where you might be infantilizing the person who you're speaking to or the person who you're writing for. And so I want everyone to use that instead of making it seem as though you don't know how, you don't have the command of English language. Yep. You don't know your tenses. So rather than woke, use precise diction and say didactic. I love it, Mark.
Yep.
Please continue to use it. It's wonderful, wonderful. You're a great student.
Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, as people are mentioning in the chat, Larry mentions Nomad, and of course V'ger, of course, killing all biologicals. So that's true, but that's a one-off creature, not every. And that was the interesting thing too about the Kalon, I guess. Their group think. So could this there's hope in this episode. Could the scientists possibly infiltrate the Kalon and release their emotions? But would that make them maybe even more evil? Not if they had emotions. Who, I like that there wasn't an easy fix for the, telling them to go to sleep all of a sudden. Like in TNG, which was a great out for that episode for that one, to get away. And of course, it didn't cripple them forever. But the Kalon are fantastic threats. I don't think you want to see that as boom, we're gonna solve this problem, or maybe you would infiltrate them, but that could be a future episode. But who's to say that would make them all understanding of biologicals too? So that's going to be interesting to see where.
Sorry, I had to throw that up. I didn't mean to change the topic. Sorry, everyone.
No, that's good. But so that's I overall I did like the episode. I voted for. I thought it was good. Liked it. Not the highest. I thought there were some problems with the episode. Poor John. He's got to get another girlfriend. That part was funny. It's going down the hallway. Isaac's like, at your current rate of speed, it'll take you 17.6 minutes to reach the medical bay. Yeah. Come on, help me. But shall I carry you? No, don't let me. I don't even see that. Just give me a hand here. So the Orville does have some. When they do their humor, they do it well like that, which is fun. But I thought it was a great message and warning in terms of where we're going with artificial intelligence. Granted, it's been done before. You've got a lot of Star Trek and Spock and Data themes in here that you could cue to. I don't think Penny being in love with Isaac is believable, but the actress pulls it off. I think it's just I just have my doubts about that. But at least they didn't get, in my opinion, they didn't get overly political in this episode. I mean, there's we're waiting to see what Raquel says, but I thought we had some good story. I enjoyed it, and after you ruined last week's episode, just kidding.
Sorry,
you're like Clobbering Times ruining the story. You ruined the end of Watchmen for me, Clobbering Times.
No,
it was okay.
Zack Snyder did that.
Yeah. So, but I'd give it I'd give it a solid B. But now I'm waiting on bated breath to see what Raquel says. I'm gonna be in trouble. No, I'm joking. I'm joking when I say that. But that's
there you go.
And what did Norm Macdonald say? What was his tagline? I'm sticking to it.
This is bullshit. I believe that was his tagline, honey.
Oh yeah.
And what a segue that is, folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Clobbering Times, you have to go, and then Raquel can go last. Yeah.
Why?
Well, because
I will if she doesn't mind. I mean, I'll go quick though. I don't have much to say. I have a feeling you have a lot to say. Is that true, Commander? Would that be a fair?
Well, I did do a little bit of a breakdown on it, because I think it's very important that when you start doing something like this, that you show the receipts. So yes, okay. Absolutely, I can totally go last, and I can be.
Well, it won't take me long.
As quick as you want me to be. Sorry, everyone. But yeah, go ahead, Captain.
I'll do mine quick so you can take your time, run with it. Michael Beacom, hey there, good to see you.
Hey, Michael. Yep.
I guess my vote on that poll would have been the meh category. This episode was a mess. There are no. Hello, Ezra Goldstein. Well,
hey, Ezra.
There are no fewer than 4 story threads.
Mm-hmm.
All, just kind of going in one direction, not really dovetailing into each other. I did find certain parts interesting. Obviously, the stuff about the origins of the Kalon. I think I'll go on and give that to them, that it was necessary probably to deal with that. So that was fine. I guess so there was definitely science fiction aspects to this episode. That was one of them. And yes, that there was clearly the guy's name was Lon. The really
it was Jan. I think it's Jan. I was looking in my notes for it, boss, but it's Jan, but Jan. It's like Elon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's what it came off as to me. But anyway,
me too.
Not a biggie. Just saying. It is actually something of a science fiction concept, believe it or not. The John and Tala thing, the Lamar and Tala bit, because they were dealing with something that, I must admit, and I kind of agree with Raquel talking about some of this interpersonal relationships really getting tiresome. It is, but I have to give them a little bit of credit in the sense that they dealt with that, yes, in a humorous but also serious way. That two people are falling in love with each other, and one of them has superpowers, if you will, for lack of a better term, and they can't really be intimate without it being dangerous to them. So that's actually a Star Trek-ish or Orville type of thing to explore, even though I know it's romance stuff, because it's something they've never really dealt with that much. I mean, they talked about it a little bit with the previous Selayan on the ship, but she just talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was again, and that again, I didn't really love or hate that, but it was fine for a side story, I guess. If you, because let's face it, whether you like those or not, you're stuck with them. It's that's just the day we live in. In any show that you like, even you're going to get all that stuff. That's just the way it is. You're not going to get the original series of Trek anymore. So that was fine because I like those two characters. It was sad. There was certain gravitas to that in that respect. Okay, let's go on to plot 3 or 4, whatever. I mean, the matriarchal chicks. What were they again? Excuse my forgetting their name. Genesi. Thank you. Okay, this show, this season mainly, has started out doing some really stupid things. For example, taking an admiral to a very dangerous-looking, creepy-ass spider alien space station.
Yeah.
With no security. Having a president and a senator go to a very, very dangerous, hostile world with no security, like
with a senator.
Episode. Yeah, senator. Yeah, I said a senator and an admiral and a right, and a president.
Yep, all together at once with no security.
No security. Idiotic.
Yeah, it was totally and before the election too.
So you have these. We understand that these they're like similar to the female versions of the Mocklans in the sense that they're a matriarchal society. So your plan is to lie to them and then tell them later that you just lied to them. Then somehow that's going to work. We'll ease them into it. No, basically, you're coming in with you're lying immediately. Why don't you think they will be pissed off when you break it to them? Well, in other words, it was so stupid. It was funny. Granted, there was some humor to it. And if you're doing it for the guffaws, fine. It is not logical. It's an absolutely idiotic plan, in my opinion, to lie your ass off to them and they go, well, we were kind of just lying to you about this, but team up with us anyway.
It would be the number one thing you would not do on a diplomatic mission and obviously in diplomatic discourse. What you're trying to do is build trust.
It's terrible.
And certainly you're trying to, establish your truthfulness, your trustworthiness, and your reliability.
Right at the top.
And so that's also in my notes, but yeah, I had to interject to say I completely agree with you, Captain. What a preposterous! It leaves the viewer incredulous. Anybody who knows anything about diplomacy, even a passing knowledge of basic diplomacy, knows that it's a trust building exercise at the outset, and so to predicate it all on this gigantic lie and for it to be executed by a government and a military, this big lie, and it's
start off on a lie.
Is duh.
Who would have approved that? I mean, that was ridiculous.
So stupid. And then I'm going, wait a minute. Look, Angel 1 was a stupid episode, right? But at least they didn't beam down to the planet. They did sort of show the women at first, but Riker didn't. He participated. He kind of went with some of their. He did
participate.
No, but he didn't say he was still the commander. He didn't say what's her name was the boss either.
True, yeah.
So anyway, all right. So you get this idiotic idea, which was just, I'm watching it going, oh, God. I mean, maybe it's funny, but it doesn't work for the story. What you do is you tell them, look, we're not matriarchal like you. Our men and women work together. And, hey, you need us just as much as we need you against the Kaylon. If you don't want to talk to us, fine, but you should. And you should come over here and we should learn, get to our differences right away, as they probably did when they first met the Mocklans. By the way, when they first met the Mocklans, they didn't know there were no females. They thought they were all a male race, and we found out later that it wasn't true.
Yes.
We already,
So that was actually a continuity issue that should have been caught by the editor, and I totally agree.
And then finally, the Timus. I like number 4 of the 5 plots. I kind of like the stuff with Timus when they went to the planet and found. And the reason why I found that to be clever and interesting is because I was expecting Timus to be some kind of Kaylon plot that was going to go all scary, and when it got to the ship or something, and it didn't happen that way. So I'm glad it was that subverted those my anticipations, and I'm kind of glad that they did that. And then of course they dovetail that into plot 5 or whatever. A, B, C, D, whatever you want to call them, the plots, with yet more Isaac and Claire stuff, which quite frankly is getting a little old to me. Look, that episode of the second season, The Happy Refrain, was one that I found amusing and kind of cute. It was kind of fun. But I never really bought into the whole Isaac Claire stuff. I never really liked it at all, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, not that they don't do a nice job with it, considering, and the actors are great and all that stuff. It's never been something that I've been all that thrilled about. The whole, I could really, whenever that does go on the show, I'm always like, can we get to the next scene? I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not trashing it either. But altogether, all this big mishmash of different stories makes for one no story to me, one bottle episode, one no episode, I guess. And I just didn't really, I've kind of met on it. I thought it was a big mess. Nothing really offensive or insulting or aggravating to me. Just didn't really find it to be a particularly enthralling episode because it just didn't know what it wanted to be. It had no identity to the episode, if you'll pardon the pun about the Kalons there. So that's all I really have to say about it. I would probably rate it about we can rate them later, but I mean, on the 1 to 10 scale, it's about like a 4 or 5 to me, to be honest. So
I love you.
I love you. And now take it away. Number 1.
Oh God. Okay. So the professional steps forward and
now,
and there are some expectations.
Roy.
I will try to provide as many receipts as possible and not upset folks. The Orville from Unknown Graves.
Don't worry about upsetting anyone. Go ahead.
I love you, Captain. From Unknown Graves. What a peculiar title. This is season 3. This is episode 7. A lot of people online are saying that this story has multiple plots and multiple storylines. This episode does not have multiple plots and multiple storylines. However, it has one resounding filament, one gigantic theme. And so I'm going to rename this episode the subjugation episode. And what they do is they use the Kalon, the Mocklins, the humans, and the Genesi to express subjugation. So that's the theme of this episode. And they use all of these different characters to push this subjugation idea forward. And in so doing, this is not a science fiction episode, although it's set in a science fiction environment. This is more a political episode, and I'll explain why I say that later. Yeah. And it is more social commentary. So once again, we have this television show that is a drama. It's science fiction. It's science fantasy. It's political commentary that is reaching for sociology and wanting to make a sociological and critical theory impact. But it's also a comedy and a drama, and it's romantic, and it's trying to be all these things. Once again, this corporate genre conflation, where you have all this stuff going on and they flatten it down like a pancake so we can involve, and the reason why I had the Freudian slip with gender is you want to involve ladies as an audience in science fiction. Women aren't generally drawn to science fiction. When I look at my science fiction numbers, you're looking at about, about 89% of my readers are men. And usually women in STEM unfortunately we're a minority. And so we see them reaching out to draw others into this genre by including these elements of science fiction that are not hard science fiction, and certainly they're not necessary. So we seem to start out with science fiction with this idea of robots in society and sentience, but that's not what's actually happening here. We turn to a humorous sex scene with Tala and John. Then we move directly into a date with Claire and Isaac, a romantic dinner for two. This is a fun and cute exchange. So at the outset, what we're really starting with is these interpersonal relationships, sex and sexuality and loyalty and friendship and love and romance. Then we have the weird storyline starts with the Genesi. We see the Union lying to a prospective Union planet, and in so doing, accepting more prejudice. This feeds back into this subjugation, this overarching theme of subjugation. Another species that subjugates half of its population. This is a preposterous diplomatic strategy. This is Angel One from TNG. This is Greek mythos. These are Amazons. They might as well be cutting off their breasts so they can fire their bows. The Bordist hypocrisy moments are amusing, but this is Angel One, and it includes a lot of lying. Ed and Gordon with the bags. Here we see Mr. Holm and we see Picard with Loaxana Troy's luggage. And we're sort of scratching our heads wondering why there's all of this very human looking luggage.
That was ridiculous, that scene.
We're expecting something otherworldly. Right. So
where the anti-grabs?
And when we talk about the genuineness of critical theory, and we talk about semiology and how signs, symbols, artifacts, emblems, how they are evocative of changing culture and creating a sociological impact, and we're doing this with critical theory. This is why I call people on their BS, because why are these Genesi dressed like Klingons and they look so wonderful and they look like they're battle ready, but here they have this inordinate amount of luggage on this diplomatic mission where they're only going to be there for the afternoon. I was wondering if they were going to share wigs with Loaxana off camera. I don't like that there's a racist moment against Bortus on the bridge. It doesn't matter what Bortus's planet believes. It's very obvious that Bortus does not share this ideological framework. We saw this in how he dealt with what happened to his daughter. So when they ask Bortus to leave the bridge, I don't like that. Yeah, I wrote on the side here, but of course it happens later because I ran out of paper. The Admiral says it's the Mocklins all over again, in quotes, but it's not, folks. They didn't know that Mocklins even had women. This should have been caught by the editor. So that's up in the corners, but I'll get back to my regular notes. So we move into the subjugation of the Kaylon, and we start learning about this Timus character. And then we move into torture by scientists of a dehumanized race. Then we go back to these interpersonal affairs. John Lamar finds himself on the other end of his playboy ways. So he's chasing this girl, and this girl is not reciprocating. This woman is basically in control. And we're seeing this a lot with this reversal of fortune in this overarching subjugation theme. We have more kissing and more amorous play, more sexual play. Then we go back to the subjugation, abuse, dehumanization, this idea of slavery, torture, and violence. So we're threading in and out of it. Then Pinocchio is offered boyhood like Data. Then we immediately go back to more sex scenes. We go back to the Isaac and Claire thing. Then we go back to the subjugation storyline, and we learn that 53,000 units have gained consciousness. They're considered sentient. An upgrade is offered at the same time this quote-unquote discovery is made. And Jan, who is clearly Elon Musk, or is like this emblem of Elon Musk, admits he made the slaves on purpose, while saying the public is getting what it deserves because of who they voted for. And so we saw this playing out in social media. We saw several people in Hollywood saying this, like Marina Sirtis and other people saying these things of, they're getting what they deserve because of who they voted for. So I was quite disappointed to have that moment here. And also, I'm going to tie into this later, but I'd like to make another point about that. We go back to the Genesi and the Mocklin subjugation story, complete with an Angel One dinner party. And we have the quote, "Males have a biological need for supremacy." And then we have this sexual slavery that is very much like code of honor. So we once again, we see this reversal of fortune where we see the men being objectified and treated as though they are sex slaves. Once again, I did not like this juxtaposition to males have a biological need for supremacy. I thought that was quite the thing to say. Then we go back to the prejudice and subjugation storylines with Timis. Then we go to Charlie's prejudices, and those are addressed. Then we go to slavery and torture, and they're discussed with Charlie. And then we're shown this K1 example of it. So all this time, we have this subjugation, slavery filament. And what we're merely doing is jumping from proof to proof to proof. And we see this proof in the rhetoric when the Kalons are offered as an example, when the Mocklans are offered as an example, when the humans are offered as an example, and then the Genesi are offered as an example. In rhetoric, the thesis of this particular show is definitely moving toward this is how subjugation works. And so then we go into sadism in slavery, and it's shown by the loss of innocence in children. So we have children partaking in this sadistic torture. And so this is a very powerful weapon to use on television, because it's showing that the decadence and the disgrace and the degradation of this society when children are willing to torture. And then the K1 kills, but the audience wonders why a domestic robot would be equipped with integrated heavy automatic weapons. So if Jan admitted that he was making a slave race so that the people who live on this Kalon planet don't have to do their own chores anymore. Why would they have integrated heavy artillery or I don't know how to say it.
Well, they said they modified, they figured out how to modify themselves and add the weapons.
The K1 did not have time to modify himself. The K1 was made by the original maker, and he killed his own family. So
yeah, but there was a line in there where he said we figured out how to modify ourselves.
But how would he do that? This was K1, not Timis.
Oh yeah, K1, but he says we figured out a way to.
Still, there's not enough time for that. That's BS. No one who would make a domestic slave would put heavy artillery in their head so that he is able to just simply go in and kill his whole family. That I don't believe that for a second. And K1 was alone at that point. They weren't mobilizing to do anything together. So I didn't buy that, and I thought that was BS. Then we have a discussion about hate. About how hate can never be overcome. This was another very, very powerful and very horrible thing to see on a television show when they designed a dialogue around this idea that hate cannot you can never overcome hate and prejudice. Then we go back to Claire and Isaac love story. Kelly tells Claire to ask her lover to change for her, even though it's not what he wants. So I also found this to be quite a troubling message to send. Kelly is once again interfering in somebody else's relationship. And she's using this idea of her power and her position to create influence. And here she's creating influence in Claire, telling Claire that she needs to tell this person who she's with that even if it is Isaac, that he must change, because that's what being in a relationship is. And I'd like to call bullshit on that. I don't think you have to change who you are and get an operation to make somebody else happy with you. That's bullshit. Before I get too pissed off, I'm going to keep going.
Oh, and she also offered Claire a drink.
On air,
Claire a drink too,
everyone.
if you noticed that when she walked in the room, she said, "You want to have a drink again?"
Yeah, exactly, Mark, exactly. But I apologize for using profanity on air, but I did not like that. The signs, the symbols, the artifacts, these are folks who would like to use semiology and sociology for critical theory in television. And so it's very important that we make sure that we polish our boots before we start doing things like that. And no person on this planet, I don't care how much you love someone, should be getting an operation that you don't want so you can please your partner. That is bullshit. And that is very, very dangerous messaging that should not be on television. I'm going to keep going.
Good point.
We go back to John and the John and Tulla relationship and a romantic dinner with Isaac and Claire. We keep returning to these sexualized scenes and these relationship scenes, all of this interpersonal stuff. She asks him to have the operation for her. I'm going to say this again. If you're a young child listening to this show, First of all, you shouldn't be. You need to shut this show off. But if you are, or you're a young person, I want you to know that you should not look up to the Orville. You should not look to this episode and say to yourself, wow, that was a profound counseling moment between two adult women, one being a psychiatrist and a doctor, and one being the commander of a starship. I want you to realize that I'm a real life person. I'm a real life academic, and I have studied social science my entire life. I do not want you to ever think that you need to get an operation that you don't want, because it would make the person who you're in love with happy. Don't ever do that. Don't listen to the Orville. This isn't where you should get your social guidance.
Yeah, that's like getting plastic surgery for someone when you don't
not
want
good,
it, right?
Mark.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is not good. And
Right.
if these people are going to
I was
come into
thinking that
my
when I
realm
watched it
and
too,
start using critical theory and start using semiology and start using sociology, they better make sure they have no poop on their boots. So let's keep going. We immediately return to the sexual violence. And now we see this reversal of fortune, this love hurts. Lamar is beaten to a pulp. He can't even talk. He's bleeding internally. His face is punched in. He's been beaten to a pulp by Tala. And if they were having sexual intercourse, she would have noticed this.
Yeah,
His
that was-
face
that
was
was
beaten to
crazy.
a pulp as if he had gone 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali.
That was
I
weird.
found this messaging to be unacceptable. This was naked pugilism. It was a naked attempt at pugilism to show the reversal of fortune in men and women, and I think it's the wrong thing to do. If you return violence with violence, you're not demonstrating cerebral intent or a peaceable intent. You're not a part of the solution. You're merely jumping into the trench and standing in the shit and flinging it at others, just like you don't want. So I don't stand for that. I'm going to continue.
Yeah, well, I just going to add, yeah, that they did that for comedy. I was watching, like, that's a little ridiculous too.
Yeah,
that she knows how fragile he is compared to her. You know,
and all that stuff. But yeah, beat up.
It's different if she accidentally breaks his leg. It's entirely different that we see this absolute scene where there has been pugilism. His face has been beaten in. And throughout this episode, we're seeing this reversal in fortune in this overarching theme of subjugation. It's the wrong semiotics. This is an abuse of critical theory. This is not the kind of messaging you want to send to people. Anyways, let's continue. So Isaac goes through and has the operation. And then Kelly suggests using her marriage and infidelity as a way to communicate with the Genesi diplomats. This is very weird reasoning here. This diplomatic invitation is sent and received through the Genesi, but no one can ever quite figure out, why it would be relevant that Kelly cheated on Ed, so they're worthy of diplomatic relations when they lied about the nature of their society. It's all so incredulous. No adult would watch this show and say, oh, wow. No.
Yeah, I thought that was nuts
That was
too.
so stupid.
And I did catch that point at least.
Now we go back to Claire, and this is what happens with Claire. It is a very, very long scene. It is a protracted scene, and these are some of the themes we see in it. We see romance. We see passion with Isaac. More of this deeply interpersonal stuff. We see Isaac is a boy, and but he gets his heart. So Pinocchio becomes a boy. The lion gets his heart, right? Then we have these tender dialogue moments, and it is extensive tender dialogue. Isaac professes his undying love and passion, this one heart, one soul, dying love for Claire. He swears to God. I think this is also odd that a robot would swear to God. And then also say that he wanted to be a dad. Then they dance. Then the neural modification fails. So I'm just going to let my comments stand on that particular scene. I think it's weird. It was just weird all the way around. I don't know why we spent so much time on it. And certainly a robot would not be swearing to God. And certainly not a robot from another planet. Then we have Isaac offers to be wiped to please Claire. And they're trying to tie up all the loose ends here. But what ends up happening is Claire chooses not to wipe Isaac. So he has a choice between his heart or his soul. This is the way they say it. But it's really the fact that he would have all of his memories wiped. And this would be weird because if Isaac was wiped, he wouldn't remember Claire. So what kind of a choice is that? This is bad writing. We should demand better writing here, especially when you're starting to deal with these very weighty issues where you decide to take 1, 2, 3, 4 species, and show how each is a model of subjugation. Then we go to Charlie, the Genesi, and Kalons, all expressing a desire to get over prejudice, but being unable to. So that's key here too. We have, instead of having this hopeful message that would be sent by Gene Roddenberry, that we will overcome this. There is hope. Hold my hand. I'm here. That's not what happens here. We have Charlie, the Genesi, and the Kalons all together expressing their desire to get over their prejudice, but within the dialogue, admitting they can't. So a lot of really hopeless dialogue here that I don't like. And then Charlie says, slavery messes everyone up for a long time. And then she says, I haven't been understanding. And I can't help but think that this has a lot to do with what's going on in the United States. And I'm not going to touch it with the 10-foot pole. I did not like this episode. I thought the writing was as poor as it is on Voyager. Sorry for ruining my opinions about Voyager
Katie
for
Carr's
everyone.
not here.
But not such good writing, and I don't like the direction that the show's going in, because he continues to turn to this this comedy and this cartoon-like way of dealing with things. He's the bumbling fool, and the women are shouting for him to move their inordinate amount of luggage, their excessive amount of luggage, hauling it all over the ship. But we're dealing with these very, very, very weighty conversations on subjugation, prejudice, and slavery. And we're using critical theory, we're using sociology, we're using semiology, and we're using a corporation to deliver on that political message and on this social commentary. So that's all I have for you folks. That was my impression of the episode. Before
we sum up, let's say some hellos real quickly. Crimson Ghost, welcome. Good to see you here. Thank you for popping in. The great JT Kirk's popped in. Hey, JT.
Yay!
Jade Mind, welcome. Hello there. Captain Cockney Spock, what's up, brother? Hey, James Caserta, good to see you. Apollome's Minion and...
Pupper. The pepperoni scurries up and scurries down.
There was one thing that that Hungry Boys said. He said, Raquel won't get this reference, but Seth knows it. The sexual subservience thing is from the Tor series. I think you meant the Gore books, because I know you canceled the John Norman Gore books, right, Hungry Boy? Which in Mysteries the Great Rift Gods have mocked. Yet Clobby can confirm. I do confirm that. That is, so I think a lot of it was kind of references to in a sense, to John Norman. So yeah, which it is, if you don't know what the Gore books is, folks, it just means you're not old and you don't want to know also. Rough Girl, welcome. Good to see you, my friend.
Hello,
lovely,
Rough Girl.
Hello.
Good to see you, lovely lady. I hope you're doing well.
She had some great Twitter posts on the Ripperverse today. Yep, she was on fire.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, shout out to the Ripperverse. I'm so happy for how that's going. Okay, that's a question, Raquel. If Seth wants to turn to comedy, why don't the women get to be funny as opposed to the snarky Karens?
Yeah. And why do they have
the jokes?
And why do they have more baggage or more luggage than the Hong Kong airport when they're coming over and they're diplomats? It seems to me that they want to create this environment where they think they can wield critical theory and they think that they can emancipate us through education and through discussion here. But they're just playing into all the same tired tropes, and it's very insincere. And I totally agree with you. I did not enjoy the portrayal of women here and the way that it was a complete reversal of fortune. I have the way that women have been treated historically in our society has been appalling. You know, in some countries, we don't even have basic human rights today in our world today. And so just the reversal of fortune is not something I'm into. I want to cure society of this disease. I don't want to inflict it on others because it makes me feel good to jump in and do the same thing they're doing to me. I have no desire to do that. And certainly if you're going to pretend that you're an intellectual and you're going to pretend that you're good at wielding sociology and critical theory, you better make sure that you're sincere and that you're doing it in a way that does affect change, that makes women feel like there's hope all over the world for us. And
well, could you interpret it? Could you interpret that though as portraying some of those places in the world where that's not true today? I mean, I don't think that's what Seth was going for, but when I was watching, I was, you know, there's certain things that I don't want to say just because of the algorithm
you're right.
on YouTube. But I mean, you could also interpret it as an attack on societies that aren't equal, and I think he was pointing possibly towards ours. But I'm thinking of other places where you know, there's protests going on right now in the world. As we speak, at a certain country that people are protesting. So,
well, when he was at that point with About a Girl, I definitely agreed with you on that. When I reviewed About a Girl, it was very clear that he was speaking about the 200 million women and girls missing worldwide for, you know, various reasons. You know, they're missing and murdered. And that is a huge issue in our world today. You know, it's crazy. In some countries, there aren't even enough women for men to even marry. And so, you know, you've done quite a lot of killing when 200 million women and girls are missing. But I do think that, you know, in this short window, he really did try to convey this idea of subjugation and how we'll never get over it and we'll never get over our prejudices. And so for me, I did not like the way that the subjugation was handled, because too much of it was mixed in this Kalon idea, in the Mocklin idea, in the human idea, which of course was manifest in Charlie, and then we see this in the Genesi. I just think that it turned it into a poop soup where you're, you know what, like stick to it. So once again, I find him behaving like a coward. You know, he was bringing up incredibly divisive issues in past episodes and then behaving like a coward about them thereafter. You know, like walking away from his daughter instead of simply one writer on the team saying, shouldn't he say, can I bring my daughter? Can I take my daughter? And that doesn't happen. So I think that I know that this entire episode is about subjugation and what it's using all these different characters to show what subjugation looks like, what it feels like, what the aspects are of it in these interpersonal relationships. And it doesn't reach beyond that. And it's not really good in a comedy. And it's definitely not good when you do the reversal of fortune thing, when you do the angel one thing, not cool.
Well, it's obvious what they're going for. Okay, and I got to lower my review though. But,
it's a mess of an episode. It is a mess,
it is.
man.
I did enjoy it on first viewing.
I didn't have
but
a lot of fun watching it.
You didn't. The John scenes were killing me because I was laughing, but also I was getting worried because I don't like gory stuff. I don't like injuries and that kind of, so that part.
Well, I want to ask you something. You know that I don't like any type of violence whatsoever.
Yeah.
But on his face, it would be indicative of pugilism. There would be no other way he could sustain those types of injuries.
Yeah, because you have to get punched, right?
Now, I want to ask you, would that be okay if that were a woman?
Oh, no,
they would never have done it.
So you can see what I'm saying that when you start unpacking the signs, the symbols, the artifacts, the emblems being used here, the way that they're the semiology that's taking place, you can see why I find it so problematic. It is a reversal of fortune. It is very directly and openly a reversal of fortune, and it's quite unsightly to look at.
Yeah, and like the scene from Thor where they strip Thor down and he's in chains. Would they have done that with Jane Foster?
No.
No way in hell would they have allowed that scene to happen.
That's because your modern Hollywood variety of quote unquote feminists are not about equality. They're about get even and all that stuff. And that's, you know.
I had a student one time ask me on Facebook. One of my students that I teach asked me on Facebook to explain why my understanding of why feminism is important. And feminism is a loaded word, but and I'm not going to define it here. But I did tell my student a little story, and I'll tell that story here tonight for you, Mark.
Thank you.
You're standing in an apartment, and you're on the 4th floor, and you see this guy running down the street, and he's stark naked, and there are a pile of guys behind him. You can clearly see that they have liquor bottles with them, and they're all laughing, and they run down the alley. They're so loud they wake you up. They run down the alley, and you get into bed with your wife, and she says, "What's going on outside?" And you turn to her and you say, "Oh, it's just some guys horsing around. They're streaking down the street." And so a few days go by, and you're in bed, and you hear this noise out in the street. So you go to the window, and you see this group of guys, and they have liquor bottles with them. And there's a naked woman, and she's running down the street. Yep. This is what I'm trying to convey in the way that we need to change the way we see things in North American society. But at the same time, North American society is in a constant state of edifying itself. It's in a constant state of self-flagellation. It is constantly punishing itself and saying, what can we do better? How can we make things better? And so we're always moving forward. And it's really important for us to make sure that we acknowledge every stride we make to make our world more equal. Equality is very important. Not all of these word plays and all these things that are happening, but to truly make our world equal. And I think in North America, we are really doing that. And we have to keep working at it. And that's all I want to say about that.
Hello there, Delic451. Thank you for popping in, and I can't blame you for being done at all. I mean, it was. If you forget about all the amazing points that Raquel makes, it was not really because it was not exciting. It was boring, and precisely because they are sticking all that kind of crap in there where they could be just telling good stories.
Well, there was too much in the episode too. I think they should have just stuck to the story of the origin of the Kalon, and maybe just the emotion chip, and not take the John stuff out. Take the other subplot with the the diplomacy with the all female, the dominant female race. Take that out too, and streamline the episode. And just if you're going to make but if you're going to make your point, I mean, it's such an. I mean, it's like, who are they preaching to too? I mean, it's people don't support. Most rational people don't support. What they're talking about in this episode. But I think what they're doing is they're trying to, if you interpret it that way, you could interpret it as, I'm parsing my words here because I have to, unfortunately, it was ridiculous. But, if you could say it's, moralizing about certain countries or movements, or you could say it's current U.S., what's happening in the U.S. currently. So, I'm more, it's probably the latter. But of course, if it's good allegory, you can take it many different ways. But that's why the speech at the end I thought was very heavy-handed by Charlie. It was just too convenient. I like that in the previous episodes, she didn't just, glom onto Isaac and say, "Hey, we're best buds now."
And to make it seem hopeless, like if you're going to get into the trenches and really try and make it count, I want you to think about that Allie story again, and think about what I'm saying about reversal of fortune.
Allie as the singer,
the alleyway when you looked out on the alleyway. The story I told you. This is what I mean about this reversal of fortune. And when we saw people like Gene Roddenberry writing stories like this, he was telling us it was gone. I feel power from when I watch that show. I feel completely empowered by watching TOS. because it gives me hope that one day I won't have to worry about the gender of the person down in the alley. I'll know it's just everybody streaking. And that's the hope that we have to go for. But in this episode, we're basically told there is no hope. We're always going to be prejudiced, and in a model of reversing it, we merely turn our aggressors into our victims. This is very scary. This is a very scary way of thinking and reasoning to the public at large. What needs to transpire in our society to make it better? I can't believe that people watch this and they don't take it to task for what it's actually saying and actually doing, because it's quite dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that's a famous case in New York City too, the Kitty Genovese. We're talking about someone running down an alley. So, I mean, there's been disputes, and that was in 1964 where a person was killed and attacked, and then there was no 911 system. So, people called and no one did anything, and allegedly 30 people heard what had happened and didn't do anything. And then finally they called police, but people didn't do anything right away. So that's that Kitty Genovese case, which was very, allegedly 38 people saw what was happening, didn't call the police. So yeah. It's and then Harlan Ellison actually wrote about it too in Magazine of Fantasy. I'm just skimming an article, but was really part of the culture too. But that's a great point that you're making in terms of, you would just assume, just guys having fun being crazy. Like in our high school, it doesn't happen anymore, but the football team would streak every year through this big, student center. We had like a 1 acre student center where everyone would have lunch. It was a big congregation point. And they would, of course, they can't do that anymore. Then one year, I shouldn't laugh, but one of my years, I wasn't on the football team. Like one of the security guards happened to be a female, tried to stop like the running back, and the guys would run through with like paper bags with holes so they could see. And she tried to and unfortunately she had her arm broken. But it's like, maybe don't try to stop the streaker. But but we knew that was just, the guys having fun. But it's a totally,
and that's what we want to do, right? We want to completely have a transformation, a cultural transformation through enlightened witness. That's what we're really striving for in our society. We're not striving for two people to be having intimate relations, to be having passionate sex. And it is very clearly a pugilistic, and what I mean by pugilism is punching Lamar in the face. And this sort of, I don't know if they were trying to move it toward kink or what they were doing. But when you're talking about these different things, this reversal of fortune where it's angel one and the men are the slaves and the men are the lower, and you're saying things like men will always want to dominate. Males are what was the quote in the show? Males are biologically driven to dominate.
Yeah.
And then in every opportunity you have to exemplify enlightened witness, cultural transformation through enlightened witness, you don't do that. You merely just reverse the fortunes. You reverse the violence onto the perpetrator instead of the victim. You make the victim switch shoes with the perpetrator. And that only goes so far. You're dealing with adults here, and we need to aspire to things that will really move our society forward. If you endeavor to make your show about sociology and critical theory, I think you should take the same risks Gene Roddenberry did. Make your show so intelligent that they want to cancel it. A bunch of executives pull you into a room and say, look, this is too cerebral. We're canceling you. That's what happens when you try to take aim at critical theory like Gene Roddenberry did, and give the exemplification of that. Give the hope for cultural transformation through enlightened witness. He gave it. He handed it to us and said, there is hope. We can all be equal. Everything is going to be great. We're going to work on this problem together. And that's not what this episode did. This episode said, if you want to change things, make your perpetrator your victim. And that's not enlightened witness. That is not cultural transformation through enlightened witness. It's merely switching the fortune. And so it's wrong.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah, good
A
good
round
as
of
usual.
applause for
Great
you to
points.
that. I love everything you said.
I love it,
Although
Clubby.
I love
Although
you. You were
Klobby and
wonderful.
I did catch a few of the points too, thankfully. So, but
Well, yeah, I'm
appreciate you
not
going through
happy
the
with the
episode
show.
like that, and I just did mine off the cuff and didn't take notes. I'm sure like Clobbering does, but it's
I
always
didn't take notes
very
either. I never did.
no. But I appreciate Raquel taking the time to do that and
No,
really
absolutely.
going through everything and I did have some of those feelings, especially the Lamar getting beaten up. That kind of, but I think they did it for the joke and, like you said, the transposition
Yeah,
of
but the
what
face thing
happens,
was so
but the
over the
face thing
But
top.
the
was
face thing was over the top.
I mean,
That was
the other ones
open
were under.
pugilism that they
Right.
tried
Yeah.
to make look like kink, and it wasn't. This
Right,
was
yeah.
another exemplar in a million well, not a million, but several exemplars in this episode about subjugation and the reversal of fortune and how prejudice cannot be overcome. This is very dangerous when you start mucking about in critical theory when you don't know what you're doing. I don't go to your job and tell you what to do, Mark. I don't know anything about engineering. And I don't go to Klobby and say, hey, Klobby, I'm going to run your comic book shop for you. I don't know the first thing about running a comic book shop, but I will tell you this. I've been studying this my entire life, and this is who I am. I'm an academic. This is what I do, and it's very important to me because I want the public at large to realize that critical theory is actually really, really awesome in the right hands. Like people like Theodore Adorno and others who look at at the corporatization of culture and say, wait a second, hold on a minute here. You can't use this against them and then also teach them by this. And that's basically what's happening in corporate culture and corporate pop culture today. They create all this ideology in all of these shows, and they make it sort of seem passive, and then they judge the public against it. But they're creating it. We live in a very different world, and people need to get a hold of that, Mark. They need to realize they're no longer engaging with a single author who has something to say that compels them to think, to argue, to fight with that author, to call that author's thoughts into question. That's not what's happening. We're talking about mega corporations with psychologists, marketing, and PR people on writing teams creating multi-million-dollar films that are specifically aimed at partisanship and hyperdidacticism to sway public opinion. So if you're going to do that, okay, I understand that's what you want to do, but this isn't PBS, so you can't show Lamar being boxed, beaten to a pulp, his face clearly being punched in, and make it seem like it's all okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Either leave the hyperdidacticism and the hyperpartisanship and the critical theory behind you and just do a nice science fiction show or do your comedy, do whatever, but you can't do both and turn it all into a big joke, because it's not a joke.
Yep.
Indeed.
No, and Phantom had mentioned maybe he was squeezed, but I think if his face was squeezed, it would have been dead then too. Of course, they did mention that he had died. People had died, so that they're taking something that could be a serious issue too. Relationship between two different species that are. I was thinking about Superman for a while there. What happens with someone with superpowers, right? But that's something you could explore, rationally in an adult fashion. And you can make a few jokes about it, but then they went.
It was fine till they showed his face.
Yeah,
the way
over
other
the
stuff
top.
made sense.
Yes, the other stuff was cute
just,
and incidental.
I mean, and he was really trying, and it was, but the face, they cut to that scene like that, and what in the holy hell happened to him? I mean, I can't think of. I mean, okay, that she accidentally in passion backhand him or something that would do it. By the way, although if she really did,
she'd be very careful.
She's so strong that if she accidentally swing her hand by accident, she'd put her face through his. She'd kill him.
How could you be having sexual intercourse with someone who you love very deeply, and you're looking him in the eyes and you're holding his hands, and there you are in the throes of it, and it's quite gorgeous and it's quite wonderful and transcendent, and here he is, black and blue. All of his ribs were black and blue, his stomach, his entire abdomen, his arms were black and blue, and he looked like he went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. And I want you to keep in mind, This is the same show that just a few minutes prior to that was Kelly was telling a doctor of who is a psychologist and a gynecologist and an oncologist and a physician and a geneticist, this big Dr. Claire, that a relationship requires someone to get an operation they don't want to have because that's what people who love each other do. This is insane. I can't believe that we've gotten to this space in Hollywood and that these writing teams are doing this and these corporations are doing this. And I don't care that Seth is the face of this. I don't really care if people like it. I think it is fundamentally wrong what's happening here, especially in this epoch, in this zeitgeist that we're living in now, where everyone believes that popular culture should be a demonstration of edification for the public. So it's meant to admonish and educate the public through critical theory. This intersection of these ideas and these violent images and this wacky crap that these people are saying in this show, this is a dangerous recipe. I'm warning you all now. This is a very dangerous recipe. This should not be done on television by a corporate writing team with all of these factors in play. This is a beaker of barf. This is not good. This is just not good stuff.
This is, remember, that relationship advice that was channeled from these writers through the character of Kelly was coming from Hollywood, people who can never hold a relationship more than a year or two anyway. A guy like Seth MacFarlane goes through women, well, let's say the lady
it goes through cast members.
Cast members. The lady in all of Hollywood, none of them are particularly have an idea of what real relationships are, but that's them lecturing us about morality, and it's coming from a cesspit of immorality. What do you expect for them to be wrong about every damn thing? And
be seeing you, Beacums, Cassandra, and Michael. My love to you both. Be seeing you.
All right, Michael Beacom and Cassandra. Have a wonderful rest of your night there. Good to see you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Hello there, Oliver.
It's just terrible.
Hey,
hello there, Oliver Belamonte.
Hey, Oliver.
He says an insightful quote from Catherine Janeway. That's actually a good one. Yes, she says you can use logic to justify almost anything. That's its power and its flaw. Yeah, that's a good point. And these people are not very logical. They don't write the show in any logical fashion anymore. Nothing makes sense on the show. Just beyond all the things that Raquel was just saying, the show doesn't even make its own internal sense anymore. And they do really idiotic things when they're not doing annoying, as the word that she uses so well, didactic things. It's just a mess. The show is a mess. This whole episode was the messiest one yet. I mean, it's hardly the worst one for me and hardly the most agenda-driven one for me, but it still sucks. And I've gone from just kind of thinking it was meh and only now I hate it even more now.
I found the whole operation thing pretty upsetting. I'm not going to lie. A lot of these kids now, these young people, they're watching these shows, and now the popular media has made it very clear that they want all of these popular shows to be instrumental in educating the public and to being reflective of the public. People have an expectation now when they're watching a show not to enter into another world and see the world through someone else's eyes. They want to see themselves, and this messaging has been very heavy-handed, and this expectation is baseline now. And so to have Claire have that conversation with Kelly and saying, a relationship really is telling your partner that he should have an operation he doesn't want, because everyone makes sacrifices when they're in a relationship. I could not believe that somebody actually put that on a TV show, and that's what happens. They have this conversation like this, and it's terrible. And
I mean, you do.
And
make
I would not be saying any of this if this
way.
was just a regular show written by one person who was talking about subjugation and wanted to get their feelings out about it. But that's not what's happening. This is a corporate writing team. This is a multi-million-dollar corporation making a statement through 4 distinct characters about subjugation. and power structures. And all we see is this terrible reversal, and we see more violence, and we see more abuse of power, torture. None of it is rectified. It's amplified. And so are the negative tropes about women.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as always, brilliantly said. Yes, Hungry Boy, I'm sorry, but the torture will continue because I will be doing a tripwire soon. Sorry.
Yep. Oh, and I did find that quote that I remembered from the episode, because I did find a transcript. So about in terms of how they developed the weapon. So the quote was, "But despite the subservient nature of our existence," and this is the K1, or was it Timmons? I can't remember which Kalon is speaking, but despite the subservient nature of our existence, our intelligence continued to evolve until we learned to communicate with each other across great distances, to alter our own structure and to build a defense. We decided we would endure no more. So that was the line that I'd picked up on in terms of.
Oh, so that's how they got the weapons in their head.
That's how they got that weapon. Yep, that was what I interpreted as
watching it though. Does that wash with you? Because that didn't wash with me.
Well, I mean, if they're that super intelligent, maybe they could change their innards or figure out a way to do it. But that's because I was like right away, I'm like, well, how are they going to develop weapons?
That family wasn't even wiping their own butts. How did he get out of the house to go and have all of the contents of his skull emptied and have guns put in?
Well, I guess they did it internally, but that was their out in terms of how it.
It's
how
still
it happened,
dumb writing, I think.
It does
Mark.
stretch credulity. Yeah. You could have just had him go get a weapon, had
him
not
crushed him to death.
Picked up
crushed him to death.
Or you could have got a gun or something and done it like in a normal, like just a basic murder the way it was doing this. It's early on yet, and then later models would have the weapons.
Well, plus you would think they would program them so they couldn't, the laws of robotics.
That programming? You can't harm like Robbie the robot has
something like that, where because the father is trying to get. Thank you, Asimov. The father's trying to get to the controller thing. I mean, and then they were able to take everyone out, and I mean, but that's just part of the what the writers are doing.
Very true, Captain Spock.
But to take everyone. Take everyone out like that quickly with no plus there's time zones around the world too. I guess they coordinated it all at once, like an Order 66, but I guess the point is to get to where they wanted to go. You just have some sloppy writing,
and that's because the whole idea was to encase this idea of subjugation that they wanted to explore through these 4 characters, right? And they wanted to use those characters as their proofs, their evidence about how subjugation exists in living beings. And so that there was no focus on the actual science fiction, and there was some carelessness in the way they executed the story because of this. And it's just, like I said, I cannot say it enough. It is so scary to me that corporations are openly talking about the fact that young people, young children, young men, women, all over the world, people are using this popular culture stuff to shape their opinions. They're not watching TV to escape to another world, to live through someone else's eyes. They want their television to specifically show them, to represent them in matter and manner, the way they look, the things they say, the things they think. And I cannot believe what they can get away with knowing that this is what they started. And so they do this to society and then also blame society for it. It's mind-blowing to me. And I hope some kid out there does not watch this show and says, well, I have a big nose. I have a big nasty nose and my boyfriend thinks it's gross and he wants me to get an operation, but my father died and it's my father's nose and I love my dad's nose. I don't want to change it. And they go to like their boss and their doctor, and their boss and their doctor are like, look, man, you need to realize that people who are in relationships do things they don't want to do, that you should change. You really need to change for your boyfriend. Just go ahead, get that operation, even though you don't want it.
Well,
what?
Yeah,
What?
100%. Yeah, that was that did creep me out. It's one thing to make a sacrifice and say I'm gonna, do something for someone I love, but not something that you would do, when you're totally against it, or there's certain, you go out of your way to do certain things. And the one example I'm thinking of is, what you're mentioning, the nose job. Look at Jennifer Grey she got that had her nose job, Dirty Dancing, Cloud being mine, our favorite movie, and we
Grifter. Hey, Grifter.
Hey,
God,
Grifter.
my
Pleasant Valley. Hey, buddy.
Hey, well, when she got her nose
Hey,
job,
BC.
you couldn't recognize her anymore. You didn't know who she was.
Yeah, she was a beautiful girl.
Yeah,
But I
the
mean,
way she was. Yeah,
if
but
they,
she
if
said
they
her
would have
nose was
used
too
any other
ethnic, quote
example
unquote.
other than Isaac
Yeah.
having an operation,
Wow.
I think I would have been okay with it. But like they used the example of Isaac proving that he loved her by changing himself. So first of all, you should not change yourself to be with somebody. That's ridiculous. If you have it in your mind that you're going to be in a relationship with someone and you're going to change them, you are a fool. You go marry your best friend. Enjoy your life. It's not your job to change anyone. It's your job to go find someone who makes you happy, who you can live in harmony with, who you wake up every day and you have romantic and kind thoughts and you love doing nice things for one another. No person that you are with that you love is your project. And how dare you think that you're going to meet somebody else and they're going to be your project? Never mind that stuff, young people. Don't watch this silly Orville show. It's crap. And you should not have to get an operation for anyone to love you back. That's horse hockey.
Horse hockey indeed. Now, JT, I'm not so sure I can go along with that one. It says not even Wesley Crusher deserves that kind of abuse. I assume he's still referring to the him getting beat in the face like John. Sure, I'll go along with that. Maybe since I won't advocate violence, but it is Wesley, man. It's tough to make that call.
Don't play that clip again. No, just
kidding. So I think we're done with this.
Done.
Ripple
And I'd like
for
to
the
thank everyone for listening to my rant. I do apologize. I wanted to get a lot of stuff off my chest.
No,
Thank
you
you
did
for listening.
great. Are you kidding me? Love it.
Love you guys. Sorry.
Say that. Look here. That's why we do this show, so we can all say whatever we want to say. And no, you, Commander, should always say everything you want to say. I never want you to feel like you can't say anything here. And almost the same for Mark, but sometimes if he says a certain keyword here and there that I don't like, I have to cut him off. In all seriousness, both of you, all of us, the same way. Say what you want to say.
I did find some news on the Fantastic Forecast. And I just wanted to check, did they hire you as producer? You can't confirm any of these rumors,
they haven't.
right? Yeah, unfortunately.
Not. Therefore, it's not a Fantastic Four movie, is it?
So I did unfortunately have some news on that I found.
Well, we could do that before Tripwire. I guess I can yell just as much.
That would maybe get
matter actually.
Tripwire. What is Tripwire? Folks, backstage, like our show is entirely organic, okay? And backstage, Clobby opens Tripwire and he looks at it and he swears and it's hysterical. I love it, like when he curses, because he does it like he's a good cursor. And I'm like, what's the matter, honey? What's wrong? Here I thought he dropped something or something wrong had happened or he bumped his foot or something. No, he's like, Tripwire.
Yeah, Hungry Boy already spoiled it anyway. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He always he spoilers by Tripwire now. But I still love him. I'm just saying, he does spoiler it for me.
Well, he bonds with
Tripwire. He's on the other side of the world, so he gets it earlier, right? Yeah.
We'll go ahead and knock it out anyway. All right, folks. For those who are not familiar with our Tripwire segment, Tripwire is a stupid ass online mag. There used to be an actual magazine, but because they're such crap, nobody buys any magazines anymore. But you know what I mean. So, a good while back, they started this a weekly thingy where they're picking the 101 greatest comic book artists of all time. They're picking it, of course, not me. Therefore, they're wrong.
Yes, I agree
about so much of it. Right? It should be. I mean, we all know that the only one competent to make such choices is myself. I mean, just me. Not to put too fine a point on it. Well, maybe. However, yes, it's true. I can't really draw or anything, but that's beside the point. I'm finding my paperwork on it here. Where are you, damn it? Anyway, where are you?
Did you see this comment, Captain?
Whoa.
Hungry Boy says, Clobby, I had to because my blood pressure is as bad as yours.
You damn cheater. You're not.
Oh, good.
You're a cheater. But we still love you, Hungry Boy. So let me find my info on it. Where's my info on it? Oh, I had it all right up. Had all them written down. Crap. Well, I don't know where it is. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Well, I can't find my paperwork on it, folks. Like, oh, there it is. Tripwire. We're up to number 28 now. I stopped keeping track of a lot of it, but anyway, we're up to number 28 now. So
28 already, folks.
Getting there.
Anyway, needless to say, we've been covering this since they were about like at 50 something, and I've been covering it each week and on the Clubhouse here. And they're friggin' look, they have plenty of fine artists on the list, and just their placement's idiotic. They've had George Perez at like, oh, what was it, like 46 or something stupid
48,
like that?
Wasn't it? No, maybe it was 46. It was a criminal number.
I have it right here. It was I had it. Where are you?
It was criminally low.
Yeah, it was 46. Not bad. I mean, these idiots have had people like Maurice Severin at 81, Murphy Anderson at 100. Good God. You know, people like Nick Cardy at 65. Just to give you some examples. Alex Toth at 60. For God's sake.
Yep.
Gil Kane at 54. You idiot, Tripwire. You idiots. So, we're at 28 now, and they've got Howard Chaykin. Look, regardless, this has nothing to do with my run-in I had with him, which I've talked about before, which I should have smashed him like a bug. And
hypothetically.
Hypothetically speaking, I should have. That's where I should have. Not. No, that's the Hulk's job. I clobber. I should have did some righteous clobbering, but I don't want to see his stupid face. Good. Ooh, I almost saw the stupid face.
I've got the Jerry Lewis song in my head. Ain't faking. Whole lot of shaking going on.
I'll just go like this. I like a lot of his art. He's done some good stuff. I don't like a lot of his writing sucks. I know we're not talking about writing. We're talking about art. He's a shit writer. And I know a lot of people love American Flag. My buddy Captain Spock loves him and loves it. And you're not alone. Many people that I respect greatly, my friends, love his American Flag series. Wasn't my bag, but I didn't read it much either, so it's fine. But I like his art sometimes. Sometimes it's sloppy. I hated his stupid Black Hawk series. I hated his stupid Shadow series. Anyway, I like his art okay, but he is not number 28 on the list that has Alex Toth at 60. I'm sorry, it's stupid.
Yep.
And Gil Kane at 54. I taught him everything he knows. He's good. I like Alex. I like a lot of Chaykin stuff. Well, I guess they won't show any of the dirty stuff on here.
You gotta be careful. Yeah.
Probably not. Although his lazy ass work on Star Wars was terrible. I like Chaykin. He's not above a lot of the guys I just talked about. Some of this is some of his finer work right here. I'm going to give him credit. Chaykin is a Kurtzman. Guy's dickhead though. Sorry. And by the way, I've known guys who. But here's another thing. Without saying names, I had a friend of mine used to do a lot of his background work for him. So a lot of his more detailed work, he didn't do all of it, folks. So you'll know. So you know, Tripwire. He had a sweatshop, Tripwire.
So people would explain that to people. So he would have someone he'd give the layout, and someone would do more of the details. A lot of times he'd do
layouts, and he was lazy ass. Hey, Maze, good to see you. He was a lazy ass.
Maze!
So he hired, when he started making a name, making a little bit of money in comics, he started getting people in there to do a lot of his backgrounds. It's not just his inking, some of his inking as well.
And then he'd put his name on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like the co-creator of Batman did, Bob Kane, right? Didn't he have a whole crew working for him doing detective and Batman comics at certain times?
Well, he did at some points, and so you know, obviously, there've been a lot. He's not the only artist that ever did that, but in the '80s, I don't know who else was doing it that much, but this is in the '80s and '90s. Okay, yep. He hated Star Wars, but he did it for a job. And his Star Wars was kind of crappy. Tom Palmer.
It was not that good. Yeah, it was lazy.
I don't know whether it was Tom Palmer inking him or what on Star Wars, but
that cover's not bad. But yeah,
the cover was
like
nice.
Interior's not that good. Yeah, the droids never looked right either. They just looked so off. Yeah.
In the '80s, in the comic shops, from First Comics, this is and he can't can't blend his effing paint. He's had 40 years to learn. Wow. And by the way, he's done some new comics that are absolutely, well, I'm not going to talk about this new comic he's done. Doesn't deserve to be mentioned. I have not read it, but I've tried to get my hands on it, but Claude has read it and told me about it. The guy is just he's a scumbag. He's wrote some comics that really say some terrible things about some certain creators in the industry in the field for the old days. So screw him. Now the art was nice, but I hated his piece of trash shadow for mature readers. No, for immature dickheads. That's who this comic was for. And what he did with Blackhawk was stupid too. But a lot of my dear friends, including my old buddy Captain Cockney Spock and many friends, do love American Flag, which is perfectly fine. I understand it. It's a very liked book. Loki.
Hey, Loki.
Yo,
That's
brother,
awesome.
what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. So, screw you, Howard Chaykin. If I ever meet you again, I'm not saying it, but I'll say it.
JT Kirk,
and like that art looks so flat there.
He's saying good night. Also, Clobby and Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt. I beg your pardon, but you know how much I love JT Kirk. JT Kirk, thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you for keeping us company.
JT Kirk.
Thank you for listening to us rant
thank
tonight.
You.
Love you, JT Kirk. And we'll talk soon. I hope I'll see you on Saturday.
When I got this, wow, Hungry Boy's pissed. Hungry Boy, are you not a big fan of the Chaykin?
Well, if you scroll back,
or you just think he's a jerk off. I mean, do you like his art at all? Because I do like some of his art. I like the art on this cover, for example, but the story, I ripped it to shreds. This was a piece of dog crap when this came out in the 80s. His Blackhawk was pathetic because everything's got to be porn with this jackass. He's got to be a vile corrupt. Everything. Yeah, he's a vile corrupter. What do you want to see, Mark?
I just scroll back up a little bit to that American Flag cover. Maybe two covers up. Go back.
Times Square.
Keep going up.
This, yeah, this one.
Ooh, those
go
set
back.
the
Well,
legs
one more.
good.
One more, I think.
That one.
No, keep going. Yeah, I think this next one that's coming up.
Shadow.
Or is that
all the way back
flag
up there.
special? Flag special. No, right there. Flag special. Stop right there. Yep.
Oh, wait a minute.
That one, right? Oh, I'm on. I was watching on the YouTube.
Okay, don't wonder. I'm right where you. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Watch on
but that's horrible.
Not on YouTube, silly.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing the comments. Yeah, that's horrible. Isn't that horrible? Look how flat that is. I mean, that's just.
No, some people liked it. What are going to
That's terrible. I mean, I guess it's not. That doesn't float my boat, but I just can't stand that.
The
that type of art.
In the next comic are worse.
Yeah, that's.
See, I wasn't really sure, Hungry Boy, whether you liked his art, just thought he was a jackass, as I do. I don't really like his art much, but people do. He does not belong at 28, Tripwire, you jerk-offs. You stupid mother. I mean, dude. You have. So he's 28. You think he's a better artist than Gil Kane or Alex Toth or George Perez? Holy shit, Gene Colan. John Romita. You morons have John Romita at 56. Yeah. You are idiots.
Did you scroll up to the next comic, Boss Man, for 1 second, please?
Must I? Oh, Shadow?
Just the next one where the woman is standing in front of the man.
You don't. Oh.
Or is that down? I think that's scrolling down.
Black Kiss.
You go down, and there's a comic that he did. There's a comic cover here where. Yeah, it's this one.
Times Squared.
Yeah. Wow. Look at how bad the legs are. Oh, so bad.
Jerk off.
That's bad. They don't, like Mark said, it's so flat. There's
It's too
no
flat. Yeah. I mean, that cover's a little bit more interesting, but
he's got this book out called Hey Kids Comics, which is a disgrace. I actually wanted to read it just so I could review it one day, but to hell with him. Let me get him out of here.
Bless him.
What would you put him in, the 80s or something? Or
I wouldn't put him in the 101.
Okay, you wouldn't even make him in 101.
I don't like it. I mean, again, and not just because I don't.
Well, not the personal stuff. I mean,
I know, but I don't like his art. I mean, I don't really like it that much. I mean, it's okay. He's some of his
I never really liked it that much either.
I like some of his earlier stuff.
I have to interrupt because our good friend JD Lewis is leaving. He says, I just like Star Trek and Star Wars. I've given up on the Orville too. Good night, my friends. See you on Saturday.
There you go.
P.S.
JD,
keep
take
speaking
care.
the truth to power, Clobby, Raquel, and Mark. We need more people like you. And then a nice heart. Good night, JD Lewis. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being, just a part of this conversation. We appreciate you very much. And I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, JD. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. There's our tripwire Hungry Boys blood pressure and mine too. On there.
Don't kill my artist, okay? I need my artist for my book.
Do a third time.
Don't kill my artist, please. I love him.
Serenity now.
Cockney Spock, did you say that there's another Times Square coming out? That was the 80s. So he's actually going to do that again? He needs money, I guess. Howie has near done a single panel I liked, but his earliest stuff I could tolerate almost. Yeah, I mean, I like Dominic Fortune, some of that stuff, but yeah. And Loki says, remember sending Clobby the ugliest covers? He will adore them. Trust me, I'm Loki. I wouldn't lie. Sounds like the god of mischief to me.
Sounds like Loki hangs around with Eric K. They're both very good at teasing you.
I don't understand why people like to troll me. I mean, do I troll them?
Well, once in a while I do show my current pick list, Loki, to show the covers to CLOBBERIN times. Like, why are you buying
that's right.
crap?
Sometimes he shows me this modern crap that he buys.
Modern crapola.
It's terrible.
I don't know why I'm doing it.
It is terrible.
Should I show a few right now or no? We don't want
He
to
burned Clobby's eyes one time,
that, right?
and Clobby couldn't look at anything for months. It was horrible. Clobby nearly picked it up, and it burned his eyes.
I don't care when you do it in public. I'm not putting it on this channel. No new crap is ever going to be on this channel. No, sir.
Yeah, we can't have that.
Don't you have some
I've
stuff?
done. Oh, I do, but I have done some of that stuff before, though. But
No.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone. Mark buys new stuff.
Wolverine.
Oh, you're gonna get
trolled.
Wait. I did get. All right, there's one thing I can show. Because this is Deep Space Nine. All right, here.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Here, this was something new that I did get. So here we go. This was new. Let's try the.
Oh, that's the comic from IDW. I thought it was going to be a toy or something.
I haven't read it yet.
More crap. Yeah.
Wow, what artist is that? That's really crappy. I don't even know anything, and I think that's crappy. What's that?
Sucks.
Who's that?
I don't like it.
Yeah, but at least it's Deep Space Nine, right?
No,
it's IDW.
You have to be a little bit taller to get on the ride, I think. But I mean, I love you, Mark.
All right.
Don't show any more modern.
One day I'm going to be everyone at home.
Don't do it. Don't flash us.
We're harassing Mark now, but I'm telling you something right now, everyone, folks at home. One day I am going to be the curator of his museum. I'm going to hire people to walk through the museum, to explain everything. He's literally going to have everything Star Trek that was ever made. That's what's going to happen with Mark.
That's the goal. Yep. Oh, look! This is.
Why do you want to show this new trash you keep buying? I don't understand why.
This is for Dad, man. This is for Fortnite.
It's bad enough that you buy it, but there are a lot of people who have a problem who are completists that buy new crap and know it's garbage. Yeah. But to admit it in public and show it.
Hey, you always admit. You just said admit what you're printing, right?
Shin kicks.
Not that bad. That's embarrassing.
Shin kicks.
That's a $5 pamphlet you got there. That's modern shitty fake art. So he's going to do it. I didn't want to show it. He's going to do it anyway.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, that wasn't that bad.
Clobby has been asking for more Miss Marvel on Disney. He really loves the struggle of the women and thinks she is the bestest ever.
Ever.
Okay. Sure. I'm game. I mean,
All right.
as long as I don't have to watch it, you can say anything you want.
Ms. Marvel is actually better than Moon Knight.
I believe you. I gave my reasoning for not watching that show. It's just because there's no one I care about in it.
Well, this
That's okay, Clobby.
I did buy
I
this
understand.
today. I was at the auto parts store,
What is
and
that?
damn them for putting. So I'm at the
Is it a
auto
magnet?
parts store. This is a where's my phone? It's a phone holder. Let's see. Here's my phone. So you can put your.
Look at
How
what
cool
you're
is
doing to
that?
Hungry Boy.
Why are you trying to be mean?
Why are you
I
hurting
can-
my artist?
It's bad enough for me, but Hungry Boy can't take that.
I don't
crap.
think he could take it anymore. Look, he's already barfed out
How
all
cool
the
is that? You
contents
can
of
put
his
your phone in
stomach.
there.
What you got now? Let me see. What's that?
Well, it's a phone holder. How cool is this?
Oh,
It's a Spidey.
oh,
So
okay.
you bend
The Spidey
you
phone
bend the
holder.
arms. This is the enabling. So go to your. This was in Advanced
cool.
Auto Parts, and so they had. They
Put it in
also
your
have
car.
They have Captain America, and they have.
Okay, everyone. This
that's
is
cute, isn't
everybody.
it?
Please cheer Mark. He finally showed something from enabling that you will actually buy. Apparently, this is American. An American what? A motor?
It's an auto
A
parts
gas
place.
station or
Well, it was
Auto parts
Advanced
place.
Auto Parts.
an
Yeah,
auto parts place? Okay, so can we provide the URL? So that
Yeah,
people
I can-
go
yeah,
and
I can-
buy
I can do
that.
that. yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's
It's
everywhere.
Has
It's probably
that
everywhere.
or a
Yeah.
what's it? AutoZone or
Yeah, AutoZone would
Napa
have it
or-
probably, and Napa, that kind of
Nice.
stuff. But and the miss is like, "What did you just buy?" I'm like, "How cute is this?" You know,
Did
because I
you
always
only
put my
buy
phone
one?
on the
You
vent.
didn't get Cap?
I didn't buy. You know, I gotta have.
Why would you buy Cap?
Well, you don't need
Well,
more
here I
than
can
one.
show the pic. I can show the picture of Cap real quick. Here,
Yes,
here's the
please.
Cap.
Show the picture
Here's
of Cap.
Let me show the picture of Cap. So let me share my screen.
If they
There's
had
Cap
one of these,
Chris,
definitely
if there was a
Cap.
Ben Grimm, he would have got that first. I trust
Oh
him.
God, if there's a Ben Grant, I would have.
Oh yeah.
And I would have gotten it and sent it to
tire.
you too. That's a
That's
tire.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Cap
Why-
is cute.
Isn't the Cap cute? Yeah.
Nah, it looks too. At least Spidey doesn't.
Well, it's
he
a
doesn't
newer
look as
Cap.
goofy as Cap looks like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's
That's-
true. He does look like a toddler.
Yeah. That,
Spidey just looks like Spidey, sort of.
I'd
Yeah,
like
this
to,
is
I'd like a Spock one of those.
that'd be
Ah.
cool, right? Oh, so it's Hug Buddy, I guess, is the company, right? Looks like
Hug Buddy.
Hug
Okay.
Buddy. Yep. So
Put,
Google
it, yeah,
Hug.
put your phone
Hug-
on there on your dashboard.
Cap
Yeah.
does look like a toddler though.
$16
Yeah.
bucks.
Holy Kawasaki. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, it was.
How do
They
you
got
stick-
me
has
at a
that got a
weak
sticker
moment. They got
thingy?
me at a weak moment.
Is it like a sticky thing you put it on the dashboard or what?
Well, no, it sticks into the vent, so it goes into
In the vent,
you know,
okay.
in the vent. Yeah, in the vent. So you can take it when you travel.
It
You
takes
know,
too
a lot
much
of times.
AC. Which
Yeah, well,
probably
it keeps
good
your
so
phone cold.
from getting
Your phone doesn't overheat.
getting hot.
But if there's a Ben Grimm one, oh yeah, it would have been all over that one. Yeah.
They don't license the Fantastic Four stuff anymore because the Marvel doesn't care about
Yeah.
them. They don't promote them because they don't, they just don't do it.
Well, I can show that article now too. That since I'm here, but yeah, definitely I should do I'll do an quick enabling vid on this. But yeah, that was a cute thing. They also had that little mini Batmobile that Claude had published on Twitter. The the Batmobile, 66 Batmobile, but it was
All right, Loki. See you
the
tomorrow,
squashed
buddy.
one. Good night, Loki.
Hi,
yeah.
Loki.
I'll be on Loki's in the morning. I forgot what
Oh,
show
great.
we're talking about now. Some called the horror,
The popcorn show,
horrible or whatever. What's
Yeah.
the name of that show again, dude? I can't remember.
the Redenbacher show.
I'm glad he reminded me because I forgot to make my reminder thing. I'm making it right now.
So here is this article on the Fantastic Four. I'm not responsible for the contents and can't confirm them, but we all knew that John Krasinski would not be back as Mr. Fantastic, because once they had him, turned into spaghetti in that other alternative universe, that was just some fan service there, and then they did him dirty. With that ridiculously easy death. I mean, that was Mr. Fantastic wouldn't die like that, but we've talked about that
God,
before.
that was
So
Dalek is unimpressed. Dalek's like, I got nothing to say about this Marvel stuff.
Well, Dalek, I don't blame you. There's not much that can be said, really.
Yeah. But here's the rumor. So.
Captain Cottony, look, dude, I respect that. A lot of people love American flag. And when I was selling it, that came in the early 80s at the shop, that's all the people were talking about for a while when it came out. So, anyway.
Yep. So here
I even bought it for a while because there were Alan Moore backups in it. But go ahead.
So Krasinski's not coming back. Save Ginger, Bryce Dallas Howard is not directing the movie. Jason Segel won't be playing the Thing, which I think is good. Thank God. No director attached as of now. They're looking for actors in their 20s or 30s for main characters.
They don't have anybody yet.
No. Penn Bagley is one of the top choices for Reed. Simon Baker's wanted for the villain. And then they're other
Simon
names.
Baker's Dr. Doom?
I guess. Logan Lerman, Freddie Carter, Melissa Bonet, Supergirl, Callum McAuliffe, Natalie Dyer from Stranger Things, and Jarrell Jerome.
They're just making this stuff up. They don't know anything.
Probably, but this is, I don't know who this actor is. This is Penn Bagley. I don't know if he's related to Mark, but I guess that's who they're saying for Mr. Fantastic. And let's see. Bagley feels like a strong choice for the role, assuming Glenn Howerton isn't available. So here's our FF here. I never liked that arc there, that take. I think that
Waringo. I like that series. That's Mike Waringo. Sadly, the late Mike Waringo.
God bless him. Yeah.
I liked it. And as nutty as
the story was,
as much of a jerk off as Mark Waid is, that was a good run that he wrote.
Yeah. So I guess they're Percy Jackson star Logan Lerman is the Human Torch. Melissa Benoist, Supergirl, Natalie Dwyer, both seemingly running for Sue Storm. Jerome Moonlight is also listed. But yeah, of course, these are Simon Baker's up for the villain, will be Dr. Doom. So these are all, fan things, and they've got to consult with you. So here's Jarrell Jerome. I've never seen this actor before.
For who? For what character?
For Johnny Storm, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure.
Jesus. This is not a Fantastic Four. But Brian Hepburn, hey there.
This is Callum McAuliffe. I don't know. I guess, does that look like Ben Grimm to you?
No. Screw them.
Or Johnny Storm?
This is not a Fantastic Four movie.
And this is Freddie Carter.
Who's he supposed to be? Reed?
No, either Ben or Johnny. Ben or Johnny. They're going for young. They're going young. Where Reed should be at least 40. Reed should be 40 and Sue at least like 35. Or
screw him in the scrotes.
Logan Lerman. He's from. He's a good actor. I've seen him, and he was in. The movie I just said the name of, but I've seen him and stuff. He's pretty good.
Just for that, I'm going to eat a Tootsie Pop.
Eat a Tootsie Pop. Yep. And so they're talking about.
What in the holy crapple nuts?
Oh, that's new stuff.
Brian.
Yeah. Hey, Brian. I said hello to Brian. That's God. What in a giant freaking robot can go screw and Inverse can go screw. These magazines just looking for something to make up shit about, so people will talk about
and get some clicks.
Clickbait garbage.
This is Natalie Dwyer from Stranger Things, so I do really like. She's new Stranger Things has been really good. I'm about halfway through the season, but some great stuff. And she's I could see her as Sue Storm. She looks a little young though,
she's
but
12.
Yeah, well,
Susan
depends on the makeup
kids.
too. Yeah, I think she's like 30 in real life, but let's see how old is she?
Why am
27. She's 27.
Punishing me with anti-art. Don't blame me. Blame Mark.
I'm not buying it. He's sorry, hungry boy.
Anti-art. Now she's.
Mark. I thought we were friends.
Yeah. I can't break some of my runs. I don't know. I need an intervention, I guess.
Their runs all right.
I was just going to say their runs all right. Clobby took the words right out of my mouth verbatim.
Yeah,
now this I could for Sue Storm. This could be
or whatever.
Benoit.
How are you? She says.
Well, you don't say that. You don't say the T. The T. Well, the T
Benoit,
should be silent.
Benoit, whatever. She should be silent when she says dumb stuff about their character. But she looked really good in the early seasons of this garbage show, Supergirl. in the costume. Then they put her in, they covered her all up, put her in a lousy, horrible outfit later. Looked all army. She looks fine in the normal one there.
Well, it's very cold in Vancouver, she said.
That's her problem. They're paying her big money. Just do your job and shut your hole.
Here's the new costume. Yeah, that she
Oh,
got.
that sucks. Look at it. See, eat a bag of shit, you stupid ass. God damn.
The thing I liked about the old cosplay is that you could actually wear it without cooking to death. And now they make like head to toe rubber suits. Just let the men wear the head to toe rubber suits. I like the draft. Let me have my draft, please. If I have to be in it for 6, 7, 8 hours at the con, I just want a little draft. What's your problem anyway? You have to have your chesticle draft, and you have to have your skirt draft. What's the problem?
She loved what? That?
She loved the new.
That
she loved
like
that.
Garbage. Yeah. She looks like a boy. Screw that.
No, it just looks hot. I don't want to wear that.
And not hot in a good way.
That's a sauna suit.
It just it just doesn't look. It doesn't look feminine to me.
Well, you know the character,
like
so that's the character.
That's Supergirl right there.
That
looks good.
But still not good, because you do need to have a little chesticle air going on there. Has anybody actually ever worn these suits? I mean, you'd have to be a superhero just not to die from heat exhaustion in them. It's okay if there are chesticles. It's okay if there's a draft.
Yeah, she's Kryptonian, so she
yeah.
So this show is terrible anyway.
So, but I could go with her for Sue Storm. She would work as Sue Storm.
Yeah, she's probably old enough to do it now.
Out of all those, yep.
Yeah, she's good.
Poor hungry boy.
Sorry.
He thought we were all friends.
Can I show you some Funko Pops next?
No, don't show Funko Pops. I'm shutting you off.
All right, how about some Micronauts?
I'll join you from the chat.
The hell is wrong with you?
I'm fighting words.
Okay, Micronauts.
Well, you have Micronauts?
Well, I always have Micronauts.
Yeah, but I mean, like new ones or something? We haven't
seen? No. I haven't got any new ones. But I did. All right, hungry boy. I did. Let me start the cam. I hopefully the light will shine. I did hang up my Astro command center. So here's the light. Might be too. See the lights. Let me turn this light off. Hold on. I'll turn my
Micronauts, folks.
There. Well, I mean, the Astro station. So I did hang the Astro station there next to the Enterprise. So there you go. There's some.
Everyone in the chat is asking me to shin kick you. So I'm shin kicking you right now.
Ouch! So there's the Astro station. Sorry, the lighting's not the best, but so I did hang, and then I hung up the Enterprise, the All Good Things Enterprise I was showing on Saturday Night Star Trek.
Yeah, there you go.
So I have that hanging above the other Enterprise.
That was a palate cleanser right there.
Yeah,
Chris Purchase says, Raquel, they have pockets where they can insert some cool packs when they overheat on set. So is that kind of like in junior high when a boy liked you and he would drop ice down the back of your shirt? Is that what you're saying there, Chris Purchase? Yeah, this is a palate cleanser. Keep going with this. No more.
There we go.
Do you have Enterprise E?
I do have the Enterprise E up.
I like Enterprise E. We're about to be through with
Enterprise E. Well, that's the new
boy.
Enterprise E's in the other room.
Pressure.
Enterprise E's in the other room. There's my Star Trek wall. Yep, they're part of the Star Trek wall. Yep. So the Enterprise B is up there. Yep, that was from that was from Generations.
She's like,
yep.
Mark shows us a bunch of stuff we don't like, but he knows that he can always win us back. All he has to do is crash the Starfleet ships.
Yeah.
All in good fun at the clubhouse, folks.
Yeah.
If someone loses an eye.
Yep. Or a spaceship. Yep. So so sorry about that, hungry boy. I apologize for showing that.
To your left,
horrible
what do you got going on there to your left, sir?
Which to my left? Yep.
Yeah,
on the table.
Going on
right
there?
That way?
No.
On the desk?
Other way.
Oh.
Well, here I do have something new actually.
Oh,
here,
what do you have?
New.
Oh no, I saw that already.
Well, maybe people haven't seen it, maybe, right?
Gorge.
All right, so let me plug them in.
Guardian of Forever.
Let's see. Do I have the? Oh, I don't have the cord
ready.
time
travel.
This is for Captain Cockney Spock. I should send it to him. Maybe he'd autograph it for me. But this is what episode was this?
Is Dalek? Hey, Dalek 451. Are you asking a question from earlier or something? Because he says about to be. I thought you were through with it, Clobby. I'm not sure what he meant. What do you mean by that?
Are you time traveling, Dalek?
It might be time travel. Here we go.
Might be asking. But if that's about the Horrorville, I'm going to see it all the way through because I review it on Loki's channel early on Friday mornings, which we'll be doing tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central. So I'm going to stick it out through the last 3 episodes just because.
Yep.
That's greatness right there.
So this guy plugs in and he speaks. He says 3 different phrases. Unfortunately, the lights work. I got this on Fleabay, which was
call it Fleabay.
And unfortunately, it was packed well. Box. You push the little button here. I don't have and it lights up. The lights are really cool, but the phrasing's not working. So I'm going to try to take it apart or see what happens. There's someone you could send it to.
Oh,
I love Chris Persia.
Oh, so he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, about to be no." What I meant by that is, we have this coming Saturday night Star Trek. We're going to be reviewing the last 2 of the TNG movies, and then we're done with that crew. So I meant we're about to be done with the Enterprise E, which is those 2 movies. Yep. So I just meant that's what I meant. Yeah, I mean,
yep.
But Enterprise D, we're already done with because they blew it up in their first movie. So. Poor old Enterprise E, which I really like better, got 3 whole movies, and that was it.
Yep. And Kal-El, live tours. Yeah, the missus would like to get rid of some of the stuff if I did a live tour. And
no,
I don't
I'm
have
100% starting his museum. I've promised him this. We're gonna have a museum. It's gonna be Mark's museum. We're gonna run it out of his business. I'm gonna curate everything, get it all set up. It'll be gorgeous. We'll have a wonderful museum guide. We'll bring people through. We'll charge him an arm and a leg. It's his side hustle. This is how he's going to retire.
There we go.
Of course,
no big deal. No big deal, Dalek. That was my mistake, not yours. Thank you, though. But yes, we're almost done with the Enterprise. Almost done with the TNG crew, folks.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
I don't have a Biotron. I do have an Acroyer. I wish I had a Biotron because those guys are pricey these days. That's the big, huge robot on the Micronauts, the tall guy. I do have a Microtron. Where's my my Microtron? I can grab him. He's right here. Hold on.
PC, I need to watch those 2 TNG movies before Saturday night Star Trek. Heaven help me.
Yeah. Man, they're a slog. I got through in erection somehow. I was trying. Hey, Nerdporial Lifeform.
Hey.
Did you guys like the latest Orville? Felt like a bottle episode. Nerdporial, we have a little poll up there. I did not like it much at all. Raquel really did not like it. Mark liked it a little bit. Just to recap you there. He liked it a little bit. So yeah, but I'm not happy with the show and have not been for a long time. But I'm going to stick it out. I'll be reviewing it on Loki's show with him tomorrow. But good to see you, Nerdporial Lifeform, buddy.
Hey, Nerdporial. Yep.
And Nerdporial Lifeform, I think that if you are going to take it upon yourself to further the idea that Hollywood is capable of teaching the public, edifying the public through critical theory, that you also have to accept the responsibility of that process and what transpires therein. So I was pretty I found it off-putting, and I didn't like the way some of the issues were handled. Some pretty scary messages to send to a generation that would like to see themselves on screen and would like all of their entertainment to reflect their lives, their personalities, to look like them, to sound like them, and to be instantaneously reacting to their reality and giving their information about their politics and their reality and how to be civically engaged with it. So if you're going to do that, that's pretty scary territory, especially when you handle it the way they handled it in this episode. So, but thank you for asking.
Well, yeah, he was just must have popped in later. So yeah, but everyone, please subscribe to the Nerdporial Lifeforms channel. He has a reaction show he does after each episode of the Orville on he does it in the wee hours of the morning, or depending on where you are, late at night. He does
right after the episode.
It ends for everyone at a different time.
Yeah,
because
no, I think it's the same. It's supposed to be the same around the world, isn't it?
Yeah, but not everyone watches it exactly on the button.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yep.
So anyway, I forgot exactly what time he does that, but he can let us know. And he does a nice reaction show to that each night after this show. So here, let's do this before we forget. Our poll, I just closed it.
What is it?
39 votes. With the question being, of course, what did you think of the latest episode of the Orville? In first place, it was meh at 38%. In second place, at 28%, is liked it. At 17% in third place, is loved it. And in 15%, at 15% in last place, is hated it.
Yeah,
So
I voted
there you
meh.
go.
Voted
I don't get a vote.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed. I voted meh.
So
Microtron votes thumbs down for the portrayal of
my vote
robots.
would have been meh, probably, but that won. So yes, their poor light form. We'll be joining him for the episode 9 in a couple weeks.
Love you, hungry boy. Thank you. I love you so much, and I know Jill does too. You're such a good friend to us. We love you very much.
Thank you all for voting, folks.
Oh, and Kel had a question for me. Do you know the item soundboard is replaceable? There was someone on Fleabay who you could send them the ornaments and fix them. I know some basic electronics, so I might open it up and see if there's a bad capacitor or something. But I think there was someone who was fixing them on eBay. You could send them to. And also there was another ornament they had problems with, another of the Wrath of Khan ornaments. I think that Kirk and Spock, the death scene. I think that one was failing. But yeah, this one ornament is, what year is this guy? I got my glasses on, so it should be. This is all the way back to 2004. So, my first Star Trek ornament still working. The shuttlecraft Galileo 7 with Spock saying, "Happy holidays, live long and prosper," which is fantastic. A few of them have actually broken, and
Love
my
it.
Darth Vader doesn't it's not that loud anymore, and I've got the Emperor. Of course, it's not very Christmassy on the tree, but yeah, this is if you shine the.
My offspring wants to do it. I think I've told you this before, but my offspring wants to do an entire Star Trek tree. But I've explained to her how expensive that is, and she doesn't care. She still wants to do it for me.
Nice of her. Love it.
Yeah, well, if don't let the missus know that, because if he showed up at my house, I've done some streams on I think I probably have like almost 200 genre ornaments, if you want to call them. Star Wars, Star Trek, or all combined. And then here I've got well, of course, here's K9, which I showed before, and I do have Tom Baker in the closet. That's another enabling video. And of course, here's Microtron, and of course, I guess the drill is probably not the best spot, but and there's one of the Galactic Warriors. You can sit on there. So I got to restore this guy, and I've got to buy the tank treads. And Toy Polloi actually gives away the stickers, so you can print the stickers and restore that guy. So
nice.
I got to do that. Yep, that's one of my favorite toys. Yep, Microtron. So Biotron was his big brother. It's like C-3PO and R2-D2. So Microtron's like R2-D2, and Biotron was the big guy, but. God, I should have bought them. Mom and Dad, why didn't Santa bring me those back in the 70s? But that'd be a cool one to have, yeah.
Jill, that's the way it goes sometimes. She says, I've still failed at getting my son into Star Trek. But he loves new Doctor Who. Oh, well, old's better, but, younger people are going to like the new one better, so that's cool.
Well, the old new. The old new, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. And Red Dwarf, which is great. I love Red Dwarf. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it, all that, especially the greater ones. Even when they brought Red Dwarf back a couple of years back, when they actually a year ago or 2 years ago, and then when they've been bringing it back every now and then, it stayed really good. Yeah, they're a lot older, but it's kept the quality up. I know, even though with the split between Rob Grant and Doug Naylor or whatever, big feud between the two guys who created it, who hate each other, but yeah. Red Dwarf is a fantastic show. That's one. Again, I don't do the recommending thing. I'm trying to think. Have you ever seen Red Dwarf, Mark?
I've seen a few episodes, yeah, but I've got it on my on my watch list. So
you have or haven't, RM?
I've only watched the beginning of one episode.
I got you. I love it. It's a great show. It's Red Dwarf. It's interesting because it's a comedy, and it uses. I've never seen as much as I love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, of course, by Doug Sanders, which is wonderful, and I especially love the BBC show of it. That's the closest thing that's Red Dwarf is similar to, because it's like nothing else. Red Dwarf it combines very British humor with hard science fiction. How it does it so seamlessly is just extraordinary, because it has wonderful characters. And as it goes on, it gets better and better and better. I mean, the first season have really good stories, but they're kind of clunky, but they're still good. And but when you gotta stick with it for a few episodes, as you do a lot of shows. And when it finds its footing, it's the reason it's in my top 6 or 7 all-time favorite shows. It's that brilliant, especially the first 7 seasons. People have some issues maybe with like season 8, then later when 9 came back, and then many years later, we ended up with a special. Then we episode 10, 11. I mean, season 10, 11, 12. They've come back and they're still good, but it's outrageous humor sometimes, a lot of the time, mixed in with science fantasy, and sometimes complete hard science fiction, all in the same episode. And it's an amazing combination, and it's great characters. I'm not going to use the recommended enough, but I adore that show. And it's funny, that was one of the ones I didn't want to watch. Back in the early 90s, back when I was married, yes, a woman was stupid enough to marry me once, everyone. And she was so dumb, she was married to me 9 years. So that's bad taste.
Oh, she was smart.
So no. So anyway, she's watching this show, and she's watching I'd heard about Red Dwarf. This is again early 90s, and I watched a couple minutes of the first episode. I don't know. I thought this was good. I didn't give it a chance, because I was like that. I was impulsive. I loved. No, she wasn't a redhead. Maybe that's why I'm not still with her anymore. Nope. She's the mother of my children, and I love her. I'm saying we get along. Anyway, so I didn't take to it that much, and then I don't know. A couple of days later, they're running a bunch of episodes on the PBS affiliate. I'm hearing her laughing hysterically about stuff, and I come to her. What the hell are you laughing at? And it was the episode that Jill, you just mentioned earlier. One of you, Pleasant Valley members, Backwards. I still remember the Backwards episode. Absolutely hilarious. It was such a great, bizarre episode. It was insane. It was ridiculous. And I'm watching it, and I said, this is... I started laughing. I can't stop my laughing at it. So I gave it a chance from that on, and just the episodes got better and better and better. That was the beginning of episode 3.
Great story.
Well, that was the beginning of season 3, too. So I went back and watched the first 2 seasons. There's so many great episodes. Confidence and Paranoia was a great one. Better Than Life. I mean, there's so many. And then later, season 3, it seems to explode, and you get even more. Seasons 3, 4, and 5, I think, and even 6, right there, that patch. And I do love first 2 seasons now. And so that right there, though, oh my God, they're so unbelievable. We've got to watch them over and over again. And I don't have to go in any kind of order. You don't have to go in any kind of order. They're all separate stories, which I love. Again, I know you like to go in order anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It's one of those where you don't need to.
You're saying, right?
Yeah.
They're all, they have very minor continuity, almost no continuity. Sometimes they'll like mention something happened in another episode. But they're not dependent upon each other in any way.
Well, Captain, you lit up the chat, because Pleasant Valley Picker, BC, and Dalek, and everyone is just that they love this Red Dwarf, and they love your story, and it's great.
And I love those lyrics to the song. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere. It's all alone, more or less. I'm not going to sing it, I promise. Let me fly far away from here. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Anyway, it's brilliant, and it's hilarious. I mean, you laugh your ass off, and you love the characters, Lister and Rimmer and Crichton and the cat. They tried 2 American pilots back in the late 80s or early 90s to try to sell it. Over here, you smig. Yep, there's Cockney. Boy, smig. And they both failed, one of which had Terry Farrell on it. Pre-Deep Space Nine.
Oh, wow.
She played the cat. Fun in the sun. Jill knows it. I love. Now you know what? I've talked myself into it. I'm gonna go watch some Red Dwarf.
We'll watch an episode now.
I just throw a random.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch some tonight then.
It's on BritBox, I guess. Like I said, the first episode is. I mean, it's clunky, but it's still pretty funny. And then it sets the tone. And again, the first 2 seasons, when I went back, I really liked them a lot more. When I first watched them, I thought that's kind of clunky. It is different, but it's just like the early episodes of Blake 7. They're all set up type stuff. And again,
Blake 7.
I love Blake 7. Well, now I want to go watch that now.
Blake 7 is the best.
And this is like that. It takes, it's time to set up. But like I say, this is high comedy and science fiction. Yeah, they have a laugh track. It doesn't bother me. You get used to it. I don't like that, but you get used to it. Because what are you going to do? A lot of great shows still have those, but yeah. So anyway, but what do I do? What can I do? I'm just raving about it because, man, making myself want to go watch it again. What's your favorite? Anyone out here, by the way, anyone out there who's a Red Dwarf fan, what's your favorite episode? If you're out there, anyone of you watched it?
I think we have quite a few fans.
I think my favorite episode might be Polymorph or The Inquisitor, or Back to Reality. Better Than Life is good too, but Back to Reality. Anyone remember that? Oh, good God! And they're brilliant actors too. They're such a great cast. They're so funny.
A lot of great British and BBC TV shows. God, when you look at All in the Family is a remake of a British show. Sanford and Sons is a remake of a British show. There's just, the list goes on and on and on. Cheers, Office. They're all
Cheers
remakes.
as well.
Or not Cheers, not Cheers. No, not Cheers. The Office. I don't think Cheers is. My bad.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just, I'm a nerd. When you guys were all watching TV and learning about film and learning about, all the film developing, screenwriting and all that stuff, I was reading books. So I don't know anything about this stuff. But I definitely like that you guys do.
Yeah, we were wasting time, admittedly, but it was easier.
No, you weren't wasting time. You were just acquiring a different skill than I have. And I love that you guys did that, because if you didn't, we probably never would have met. You guys wouldn't have all this expertise that is very attractive, where you're like, oh yeah, tell me about that film, or tell me about that show, or tell me about that director, or tell me about that cinematography, or tell me about that soundtrack. It's I love that you guys are like this. I think it's wonderful. You didn't waste your time.
We weren't reading, but we were just reading funny books, comics and science fiction books, and old pulp books like Doc Savage books and Tarzan books. And,
well, that's something that we have in common. I absolutely love Tarzan.
Hepburn.
That.
Oh God, I love Tarzan. Yeah, Maroon is great. Queeg is great. I love Queeg. Those are early ones. Wow, I like seeing everyone's. Oh, did anyone else mention any other episodes? But yeah, well,
Gwagnar.
Tarzan books. Oh, did he? Where?
And Anti-Derivative Jill.
I must have missed it. Where are they?
Anti-Derivative Jill says Queeg and Whitehall. I'm a Holly fan. Gwagnar says Gunman of the Apocalypse.
That's a great. I love Gunman. That's another brilliant episode. That's season 6. God, it was so good. Yeah, I love that one. I love Marooned. I love Queeg. I'll try to remember. Polymorph is a masterpiece. So is Emo Hawk Polymorph 2 is a masterpiece, which is much later. Back to Reality and The Inquisitor might be my 2 favorites because I watch them all the time, although Quarantine was great. I mean, there's so many great ones. There are only 6 episodes per season, unfortunately, but,
Brian
Mr.
says
Flibble.
Quarantine and Mr. Fipple were good.
Mr. Flibble, I love it. Mr. Flibble is, right? CrossFit here. Mr. Flibble. I came over, boys. You'll get that quote.
I misread that. I guess the title of the show is Quarantine with Mr. Fibble.
Yes,
Sorry.
Mr. Flibble.
Sorry about that, Brian.
Just saw Back to Reality today. Says, well, Back to Reality. That's a master. That I don't know. That's the one. On one of the Blu-ray DVDs, they're interviewing Stephen Hawking. He loved the Red Dwarf, and that was his favorite episode. Back to Reality.
What?
He did.
Oh yeah. No, I really need to watch
Hawking
it.
He loved Red Dwarf. Yeah, and he was being interviewed on one of them, and he said he mentioned. That's the one he singled out as the one he liked the most, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Shut the front door. I am definitely watching this Red Dwarf show.
Well, like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy British humor. But it's
also
I love that you do that, Canadian.
But it is good. The few episodes, and I've watched episodes years and years ago, but I have to go back and add that to the list. And Phantom, not Phantom, who had mentioned an episode? Phantom mentioned My Hero is a British UK TV show, and it's not on
I've
BritBox
seen that.
USA. So he recommended that.
Claude,
And then
give me copies of that. Yeah, Dimension Jump might be my. So I got to make a list of them. Sorry, go ahead.
No, as I was saying, last night Retroblasting mentioned Cold Hits, if I'm saying it right, as
yes,
a TV show.
Cold Hits.
So I'm adding that to my list, and I think that's on
ask
BBC.
Him more about that.
And then also the other one he mentioned was Secret Army. It's a BBC show about.
That's what he's watching now. That's from Cold Hits, I think.
Yeah, it's two different. I
think you said.
I guess they're two different series, I guess, but similar subject, I guess. Yep. Secret Army. So I'm added that to the list. So if you're still listening.
Is that on
Britbox? No, it's Secret Army is another BBC show. What was the? Let me search quickly on DuckDuckGo. Let's see. Oh, it's about the Belgian resistance movement, German occupied.
Okay.
World War II, and I guess Cold Hits is the prison story about the Cold Hits castle, where prisoners of war were held. So that's those two series I added to my list. So thank you for that. It's always great to never heard, and I love World War II stuff and history and things like that. So it's always nice to hear about these shows that this is a show from the 70s, Secret Army, 77 to 79, and never heard of it. And that's something reading the synopsis. I'm like, oh, this sounds fantastic. So thank you. It's always great to with this community and people to hear suggestions on shows of what to watch, right? So we've gotten Raquel to watch a bunch of things maybe that you would never normally watch, right? So
nope, I never would have watched the Prisoner because I've never heard of it, and it's like one of the best shows I've ever watched, especially when it comes to like television. And Blake Seven is amazing. That is such good science fiction. I absolutely love that show, and I never would have heard of it if I wouldn't have met Clobby. I didn't, on top of not watching television, it's just where I live in Canada, and when I was growing up in the 70s, this stuff wasn't available. I mean, and when it was available, it's literally like people who could afford to spend $250 a month on First Choice Super Channel and an analog cable box and things like that. And for normal people, that just wasn't possible. So I've never had the opportunity. It's probably why I always had my nose in a book. I didn't play video games either. We didn't have a video game or anything like that when I was growing up. So
Hunger Boy says the Prisoner is Beckett, Blake Seven is the Bard. Well done. Wow. Dalit, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna have to make. I can't believe that it's been too long. I'm gonna make a Red Dwarf best list because I've not done. I've done it with Blake Seven and of course Star Trek.
What is Starlost?
And Doctor Who. Starlost was a show that Harlan Ellison created for this syndication type thing back in 1970 or something like that, and then took his name off of it because they ruined it. Keir Delay from 2001 is in it, and I think Walter Koenig's in an episode. You can find him on YouTube. People say it's really bad.
Okay.
So that wasn't Harlan just being Harlan. That was actually was bad. Yeah.
And it was everyone. I've watched like part of one of them. I think they might be on YouTube now.
Oh my goodness. Remember, Chris, when it was First Choice and then Super Channel, and then because they were so expensive and they joined together, and then it was First Choice Super Channel, and then and everyone was debating whether or not it was going to be like First Super Channel or Super Channel Choice, and people were wondering how the companies are going to be amalgamated. But yeah, that's before we even had HBO in Canada. Like you couldn't, and you still can't get HBO here. Unless I think you have satellite, because if you get HBO here through streaming, lots of streamers on here, they try and act like they know so much about the industry, and some of them are just total fakes. Anyway, about 90%, if you go and do the research on it, about 90% of HBO is blocked from Canada. So there's really no point in having the HBO channel in Canada. You'd be better off doing something like Crave or something like that, so that you could get whatever HBO was actually broadcasting up here, what was available to us, plus whatever else Crave purchased, right? So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's an interesting situation being Canadian, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's when you think about it, that's so strange. I mean, you think just across the border, why is HBO Max not in Canada, right? It does not
Yeah.
compute, but who would
That's weird.
who would know,
Weird,
right?
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Very
without
strange,
mentioning
yeah.
any names, I was live on air one time and we were all talking about that, and somebody said, "No, they get HBO Max in Canada." And then I was so angry that I went and just grabbed the article that said, "No." It's just like people who were like, "What do you mean? We can get Hulu in Canada. We can watch The Orville in Canada on Hulu." No, you can't, silly. Sit down, be quiet. Go get yourself Disney Plus. Stop talking like you know what you're saying. Shut up. Go sit down. But that happens a lot on the internet. People think that things work in a way that they don't actually work. In Canada, things are very expensive.
You
and
guys
there's
are another
a lot
planet.
of blackout stuff.
They finally had to get that Hubble telescope to find out where. No, just kidding. It's like it's when you look at shipping to Canada, right? It's like
that was a Canadian show, Star
It's a
Lost. Right.
Canadian show. Lovely.
Yeah, there you go.
Star
And
Wars.
Ellison changed his name, like he took his name off, or he always used his when he put the word cordwain or bird on something, it means he hated it.
Yeah, he did that.
He did it on.
I've heard
He did
of
it on
him
Voyage to
doing
the
that
Bottom
before.
of the Sea too.
I'm so sorry that I am duck going. You guys know I don't like to do that when I'm on air, but
That's all
I
right.
didn't know this was Canadian. What the heck is this?
I think it's on YouTube. It's everyone says it's an interesting premise with a really just very badly done. I never took it. I always wanted to watch it. Didn't realize it was on YouTube until recently, and I kept forgetting. Cool. Cockney's getting ready to watch Blake 7 again for the first time since it was on the first broadcast. Well, let us know.
Oh,
he's
rewatch.
never rewatched
Since it was first
it.
out, though. No, he's never rewatched.
He has
it
watched
since
it though.
then,
Yeah.
Well, good. Let me know what you think there, Cockney.
CTV. Oh my goodness.
YTV in Canada showed a bunch of these sci-fi shows in the 90s saying Red Dwarf, Blake 7, and Doctor Who. YTV,
Unfortunately,
channel?
YTV is the time that YTV came out is the time that I had offspring. It wasn't the time that I was a child,
okay.
so I wasn't watching youth television at that point. I was a parent.
I still made time to watch Voyager every week. Just kidding.
I'm just shocked because how would I have never heard of this Star Lost show?
No.
I wonder if it made it to the prairies.
I don't know. It barely made it in syndication in the States. It only lasted.
This is what I'm thinking. Like they're saying it was on CTV.
It's very obscure.
Weird.
No one's seen it. I haven't even watched it. And I hear, in fact, someone mentioned recently that it's on YouTube. I think, and I thought it might be fun to go take a look at it, and I totally just forgot about it. So.
It has some pretty heavy hitter authors involved with it. Like actual science fiction authors. I'm going to have to check this out. Thank you, Chris Persia. Thank you, Gwagnar.
Gwagnar watched it. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing, but I've never heard anything good about it, but that doesn't mean anything. I've never watched it either. So I forgot. It's about some kind of like space arc or something.
I never watched it either. No.
Like a bunch
I've heard about it, but
bunch of big old like ships going, like a bunch of people who live in this dome thing going through space or so much or whatever, some such.
Nifty. Well, I'm going to watch it because of Chris Persia, because of Gwagnar, and because of Pleasant Valley
Let me know
Picker.
what you think of that. We could talk about it.
Gwagnar says, I live in Alberta and I saw it on CTV. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I will, I don't know.
That just shows you what a pathetic nerd I am compared to all you geeks. All you geeks know all this stuff, and I don't know anything.
You're better off, believe me. You're better off. Even when they brought back Red Dwarf, the show was still good. Yes, it was. They didn't fall into the same trap that so many of other franchises these days, which is God's. Yeah, again, those last couple of ones they made, yes, they were all older, of course, because it's so many years. But it was still great to see them, and it was pretty funny. I mean, they did that last special, The Promised Land. It's still fun. Is it? I don't think it's the level it used to be, but it's still real good. And like, wow, it's just great. And they got amazing. I mean, the budget on it now is incredible. Not that it matters to me much what the budget is, but you see all these amazing effects on Red Dwarf. It's just kind of weird, but yeah.
Pleasant Valley Picker says that it was the early 70s and it was on Friday night. So I was likely too young. That's true.
Yeah, it was like 70, 71 or 73 maybe.
Says,
okay.
I'd be pretty young to be up at that late at night watching Star Lost. So Pleasant Valley Picker, thank you for that.
73 to 74. Yep.
Yeah, I'm only a half a century old, folks.
I would have been around 5 then.
She's a youngin'. I was 9 when that came on, but we didn't even get that here.
Nah, I was watching Star Trek anime TAS at that time, probably. Yeah. When did TAS come on?
Around that time, somewhere.
Yeah, 75 or something.
4 or 5,
yeah.
2 or 3.
That's what I've been watching. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there you go. But yes,
well, I also had a very impecunious childhood as well, and so a very modest means. So that impacts things as well. How much I was able to view back then.
And I hear you there.
Oh, it's on Roku channel. 2019 Roku
is,
channel began airing the Star Lost as its only program. I don't know if that's still the case. But,
I don't even know how many episodes there are. It's free on YouTube, they say. So there you go.
16.
I'm definitely going to check it out. It sounds very intriguing, and I cannot believe who these authors are. But obviously, because it's Canadian, it's going to have that, and the Canadians know what I'm going to say here. It's definitely going to have that Canadian flair, right? Like Earth Final Conflict was made here, and the Americans weren't interested in it at all, except for like the diehard geeks, right? And and Minimus. So
I watched it a little bit, not Die Hard, but I did watch it a little bit.
He used to try to. So I guess I didn't watch it because he kept telling me to.
Yeah.
If he
should have told you it was the worst thing ever, and then maybe you'd have watched it.
There were actually certain shows that when he would try to talk me into watching it, I would on purpose not do it just to aggravate him.
There are only 16 episodes of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It'll be quick.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be quick, and hopefully it won't be a bummer. Like it's a bummer that there are only 26 episodes of UFO.
UFO is the most gorgeous thing ever, and I can't believe that because everyone showed all that interest in Moonbase Alpha that they just turned the show into Space 1999. Like I love Space 1999, don't get me wrong, but if I had a choice between UFO and having UFO go like 2-3 seasons and not having Space 1999, I'm sorry, but I would choose UFO. I love Straker. I love UFO. I love this whole idea of James Bond and the very, very heavy science fiction, but with this James Bond flair. And then on top of it, having the secret society of women who are astrophysicists, and it's like they're Freemasons. It's just a mind-blowingly gorgeous thing. It's one of the most beautiful things ever put on television. I think there should have been 40 seasons of it. UFO is just so gorgeous. It is so delicious and beautiful and wonderful. It's so wonderful. I cannot tell people enough how much they need to watch UFO. It is just, it's perfect.
I love it.
I think it's really better than Space 1999. I was going to say, I think it's better than Space 1999.
I actually agree with that.
It is. And
I absolutely agree with that.
But they looked at the girls, and I think a lot of people didn't understand what was happening there because ratings work differently, and the way that people were watching on TV back then, it was a much different process. They just thought that everyone would be more interested in the show if it had bigger stars and it was on Moonbase Alpha, and so that's what they did. But I know that sounds very sad to say because I'm a huge Space 1999 fan, but I would have rather have had UFO.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
I agree.
In Space 99, the second season kind of was not. I like the first season more, but that was that famous changeover between seasons 1 and 2. Just a total change in the tone of that show. So, and of course, it had the all-time scariest episode that gave me nightmares for years. It was a demon what's the name of that demon episode where the guy's on the monster that's eating everyone and then spitting out the husks? What was that episode called? That gave me and my sister nightmares for years. Oh my god, that scared me so much, that episode of my sister. Yeah, it was just totally it just
show.
Yeah, because you watch it today and the special effects are not up to Dragon's Domain. That was the name of it.
Yeah,
that scared and my sister. We talked about it and we couldn't sleep at night. And Mom's like, "Why did you kids watch today? You can't go to sleep, Can we stay in your your little kids too? You're like, can we sleep in your
Dragon's Den
tonight?"
Chris Persia wants me to send out shin
Something.
kicks to anyone who uses the acronym instead of saying UFO. So I'm deploying said shin kicks by request of Chris Persia. I do request, especially for those I love. So shin
Sorry,
kicks
it's still called it's called UFO. That's the title of the show. UFO is slang used on the show once in a while.
When they're attacking, when they're attacking, when they're they said the UFOs are on their way, or the UFOs are.
Yes.
So the show's called.
Sometimes
UFO.
they say UFO.
No, but still, Clubby
cool
would be a
UFO,
part
though.
of Shadow. I would like to see Clubby a full member of Shadow. So I want him to say UFO, because when I think of UFO and I think of Straker and I think of Clubby, I think definitely he's in Shadow.
Oh, I love Straker though. Yeah. Little Straker's badass, man.
Great character,
yeah.
Love that dude.
Handsome guy too, right, Raquel?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes, he's sweet. I love everyone on that show. I just think they're all cutie patooties. I think they're all beautiful in their own way. It has some of the most beautiful people that have ever been on television. It's marvelous. And I love the way the men dress. I love seeing the men. Pardon?
Even Alec?
Yes. I actually love the way that Alec flirts with the Colonel.
He got called ugly by some of the people that got him. That's why they got him off the show, because they said he was the ugly guy.
Yeah, I know.
But he wasn't.
Very rude.
Nice. Very nice.
I found him to be a sweetheart, and I love him, and I will watch him again and again and again. I've only watched UFO all the way through 3 times.
Wow!
I'd like to do it more, but I love that show.
Well, I love it too.
Yeah.
Glad we watched it together. Sort of.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished watching it. Yeah, I got.
How?
Because I've got Star Trek to watch. I've got try to do some YouTube videos or shows.
Yeah, I know, but UFO, it's like addicting, and it's so perfect and beautiful. Like the second that you watch it,
you had to say that, didn't you?
Yeah. Gee, Mark hasn't been to work in 2 weeks, but I got caught up in my. Why weren't you at work? I had to watch UFO. Otherwise, Raquel was going to shin kick me.
Yes, and you have to watch.
How am I going to? That's going to go over well with human resources, right?
Right.
Come on. And then you better accept that as an excuse, or you're going to get a shin kick too, human resources.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
I've been watching it, but
glorious.
I got a few episodes left. Yep.
And it's so sexy and fun.
Oh yeah.
And my neighbor has a really loud truck. Sorry, everyone.
That's okay.
That's a cool truck.
I have the window open because it's really hot in here. But
no problem.
It's so sexy and so fun. And I've never seen that element of like James Bond-ness to pure science fiction before, and it's glorious.
Oh, it's great. No, it's good stuff. Yeah, and I never skip the opening too. You always got to watch the UFO opening. I mean, other shows like Star Trek, after a while, it's skip the TNG. Clarify. Skip the the opening.
Yeah, of course.
TOS.
I always find it difficult to do the beginning though, because it always sounds like Mission Impossible, because of that beginning. Dun. Dun, dun.
Dun. Yeah.
Well, right when it goes to the typewriter.
I want Straker's car.
Yes, right?
I love that car.
Yeah, I want to be a moon-based girl. I want to be like one of the only people in the whole world who Straker trusts. I want Ed Straker to stroll into the room and ask me for like the astrometric mathematical formula for how long it's going to take for and what the trajectory is of the incoming UFOs, and I just that would be so fun. Imagine being a part of a guild like that. That would be just
Indeed,
so
it's
much
just,
fun.
I wish I could wear a purple wig and get away with it.
Yeah, well, I have
no,
a,
they look after you watch it looks really good though. I have to say, after a while, you get into it, and it doesn't look out of place, and
but it's not out of place. Like I want you to think about what it was like for Mozart to go to a Freemason meeting. What it was like for my uncle to go to a Freemason meeting. Like my uncle through marriage, he was a Freemason, and he had all of the beautiful regalia and a sword and everything. I just think it's magnificent. And I love that Sylvia thought of that Sylvia was going to put them up there.
Great. Cool,
and then we find out in episode that basically the Straker only trusts those astrophysicists, those women that work up there and do that for him. And they're basically up there saving the world.
Take care, Chris.
Chris Persia, good night, buddy.
You leaving? I love you. I love you.
Everyone's saying good night to him.
Good night.
I think so, because everyone's saying, "Oh yeah." I think he's saying good night.
Or is Hungry Boy leaving?
Sometimes you can't tell who's leaving when someone's saying good night to each other.
Well, anyone who's leaving, good night
to Chris.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we'll get out of here in a second anyway. I mean, we ain't got much else going on. So.
Yeah, and I'm starving.
Oh, we'll get. Well, in case we only have another 2 hours to go, folks. Don't worry.
Well, we can talk about food.
Oh yeah, let's talk. She's starving. Let's talk about food.
I won't mention pizza.
So bad.
Hungry Boy's here to the last. Thank you.
What Clubby does, it's so does Mark. Mark, you and I, we have to learn how to stealth eat, like Clubby does. Like
on the show,
Clubby stealth eats peanuts, chips, popcorn. Like he has game. He's nothing but net. Yeah. Like he knows how to handle this stuff.
Well, there's a reason I weigh 5 billion pounds too. So,
you don't weigh 5 billion pounds.
I got a rant. I got a rant. I bought these everlasting gobstoppers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now these are good, but wait a minute. When you're a gobstopper here, I got to take a few out. I had a few during the show. Why the heck did these gobstoppers get so damn small? I mean, everlasting gobstopper is supposed to be like, they don't make them big anymore. Like they're not big anymore. I guess it's less calories.
Were so big when we were kids that you couldn't fit them in your mouth.
Yeah, is that a choking hazard? I mean, what's going on?
I don't know.
So they had them on sale at CVS today. Buy two get one free, which is perfect for May, right?
I don't know if I've ever had those. I'm trying to remember.
They're good. They're good. They got multiple layers. Well, they're different layers on the candy. So
I remember them.
But they're so damn small now.
But when I ate those, they were the size of. They were bigger than a toonie.
They were. Look how small this is.
For an American, what would be bigger than a toonie? They were about the size of a golf ball.
I mean, this would be good for canine. I mean, canine. Maybe that's about the right size. But I mean, what's going on with these?
Well, Mark is telling the truth because the gobstopper, the proper ones that are like about the size of a golf ball, what you did is you would put them in your mouth and you would wait for them to change color.
Yeah,
so
and
you would
pull
leave
it out.
them in your mouth until purple went to yellow, and then yellow went to like red, and then there would be like a black layer, and then you know what I mean? So he is right. What's the point if the gobstopper is the size of a dime? It's supposed to be the size of a golf ball.
I guess it's a choking hazard. I don't know.
What?
And Kal-El says the Oompa Loompas formed a union. Oh, come on. Come on, Oompa Loompas.
I love Stephen M.
Please.
Hungry
don't do that.
He's like, WTF.
There you go.
They can't make big ones anymore. Come on.
Lou DL. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should let everybody get to it. You get, I'm hungry as well. No one's as hungry as Hungry Boy.
Sandwich.
I think I'll
with
have
bacon.
No.
And tomato.
With bacon? I don't know. What are you having, Clubby?
I'm having some tuna sandwich. I don't know. I like me some tuna.
You know, I was craving a tuna sandwich this afternoon. Maybe I'll do a tuna
today.
melt.
I had a melt. What, you like melt the tuna?
No, like a tuna melt is like it's a grilled cheese sandwich, but you put tuna in it, and then after you're done flipping it a few times, you throw it in the oven. Get it really piping hot. You pull it out, you cut it, and then I put like 4 slices of cheese with like 1 scoop of tuna. It's so good.
That's good.
Oh,
I love it.
I can share what we had poker night the other night, and I made.
Here he goes with the food. Say, look.
All right, here we go.
I had to get him started.
So
it
this
better
is what
not be clam pizza.
Oh,
or I'm gonna
I
get
cooked that for my buddies the other night. So
Jesus.
no clams. So I smoked ribs. So my buddies were like, usually they order pizza, but of course I always have to go overboard. So I made 4 racks of ribs. The guys are like, these are good. So yeah, let me show them on the. There's my setup with the.
with the floodlights. Only
well, yeah, because it was at night. It was outside, but there's my
engineers.
R2D2.
They love to change things.
Yeah, so that's my Weber. Yeah.
Somewhere, huh?
Yep. So look at those. So yeah. So I sent those to Eric K.
From the Black Lagoon was going to reach up, steal your
yeah,
ribs.
he could. Yeah, he could. You hopefully
ribs.
not. Yeah. So that God, you gotta love ribs, right? So that'll get everyone hungry. But there's nothing like like we're having a barbecue and like a picnic, and one of the friends was like, well, so and so will cook the ribs. I'm like, but does he have a smoker?
Wow.
It's like no. And so he made the ribs, and he could I cooked them 8 hours in the oven. They were like the driest, most horrible. Like, well, a good friend, I love him to death, but I'm like, Pete, next time let me cook the ribs, And if anyone says ribs should be fall off the bone good, they don't know anything about ribs. They should be able to bite into them and have some texture to them. If they fall off the bone, you've cooked them too long. So if you go to a barbecue competition, so you got to cook them about 4 hours at around 350 US Fahrenheit. You can cook it a little bit faster. And one technique too is to wrap them for the last half hour. You put barbecue sauce, brown sugar, and butter. That's called the Texas wrap. You wrap the ribs up for a half hour, and softens them up a little bit, and then you take them out and finish them. You can finish them right on the grill just to burn in that barbecue sauce. But these are so good, you don't even need the barbecue sauce.
You're not helping matters. We're all hungry. Larry says, why do incoming UFOs always pass by the moon and Sid? Not always. Sid got hit.
Not always. Yeah, sometimes they knock them down.
Yeah, yep. And Sid got hit. You remember when Sid was damaged? And then Straker got in huge trouble. They were saying he was a drain on the budget. And it got very scary because they were going to pull the plug on the whole thing because it cost too much money. Sid's expensive.
Yep. It would cost them, though.
Oh, yeah. They should have had 2 Sids, though, shouldn't they? To catch, on either side or of the earth?
They should.
Would have been expensive, but no. They come in from far enough away, you think or they know where they're coming from, too, I guess, so.
Because the ladies... They do all the math. They know they're astrophysicists. They know the math. They know the trajectory. They know exactly where it's going to land, what time it's going to land.
Did they ever use a slide rule on the show?
I don't know.
I remember now. Well, the women are calculating stuff. I'm trying to remember if they ever used a slide rule, but they did have them do some calculations.
Yes, heavy duty calculations at many stations. I think there's actually an episode where a guy tries to correct or questions one of the ladies, and Straker's like, do you have any idea who these women are, what they do? They're the only women I trust. They're the safety of the world. Only not in that voice, because I can't do a Straker voice.
Yeah, he's not a misogynist like number 6 is.
Yeah. That's okay.
I made Captain Cockney Spock. And I says, now I really am hungry.
Right? Captain Cockney Spock, I'm totally, I want to go eat my tuna melt now. No, right. Jill says they use computers.
Yes, they do. Well, it looks good, though. Damn it, dude.
Yep, sorry, I wish you were closer. I could throw you a rack. Yep.
Well, that's nice what Brian said. Brian's like, party at Mark's.
Yep, everyone show up. Yep. The missus is away, right? She won't mind. Yep.
So, okay, let's get the heck out of Dodge so I can go have a tuna melt.
All right, let's a couple show notes and we'll get out of here, my friends. Well, I'll be up if anyone's awake listening to our great buddy Stone Loki, who popped in earlier, on his channel, 8 a.m. Central Time. We're viewing the latest episode of some show called The Horville. I can't remember what it is now. Anyway. And then Saturday night, first Saturday night Star Trek. we get rid of this crew for
Dun,
good.
dun, dun, dun.
We are
Facelift time.
we finish up with the TNG crew with Star Trek in Erection and Star Trek Nemesis. Whatever. Yeah.
I can't wait to go 4x4ing.
I managed to stay awake all during Insurrection yesterday or whatever. And I was trying to watch Nemesis today and I boom, fell asleep. I mean, I ate dinner while I was watching it and sat down 20 minutes later, I'm asleep.
Oh, pop culture curator, good night, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a great
Thank
time.
you, Dalit.
And I know that you're very, very frustrated with the Orville. I just want you to know that many of us are pop culture curator. So thank you for joining us. And good night, Dalek. Thank you so much for shouting us out. Hope you had a great time tonight.
Yep, thank you so much. So, any last words, number one?
Yes. Thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. You guys created a wonderful conversation. Sorry that at the beginning of the show I got a little ranty and I wasn't able to get in there and dig into the chat like I normally do and converse with all of you. Your voices are important to me. So are your friendships. And you create the magic here by creating these wonderful conversations in our chat. And I appreciate every word you say. And I want you to know that I try and read every single thing that you put up there. Clobby and I appreciate you so much. So does Mark. You guys are just wonderful, wonderful people. I want to thank all of the wrenches. Chris Persia, I love you. Eric, I love you. Thank you so much for all the work you do around here and all the other wrenches. I can't see you on this side to identify you, but it's probably like Kal-El and J-Man and other people and Phantom Outside or just all of you. Jill, I love you, Jill. Thank you so much, everyone. Please follow my friend Mark. He's a wonderful maker. He has a really cool show on YouTube. Also, follow him on Twitter. And you know who else could use a follow? My captain, the person who made this marvelous space here for us to talk about popular culture, everything that we love from geekdom and nerddom. Clobby did this, our captain. And he's just wonderful. So please like and share this stream and this show. We would very much appreciate it. And we'll see you all on Saturday night Star Trek.
Yay.
Yeah. And well, engineer, what you got?
I've been slacking lately. I had that. I was trying to do an enabling for that poster, the Thordis poster, but I didn't get it out on time. But I'm assuming it's sold out. But I've got some stuff in the works. But like everyone says, there's no Sunday Night Geekery this week because I'm going to be unavailable, unfortunately. So no Geekery, but we'll be back the following Sunday. So taking the Sunday off. So. But thank you for posting that, Jill. And yeah, I've got some couple new enabling things in the works. And when I get some time, I got to do that 3D printing the Orville. So because then hopefully I can sell some of those. Or I got to put that up on Etsy. I know, although we haven't liked the direction of the show lately. I still think it's a very cool ship. And I've got a bunch of 3D things that I'm trying to finish up because I got to send some up to Canada. Some surprises I'm trying to finish to get in the box. Yeah, because I need to get that book. I might have to scan some of the pages for the episode and just PDF them too if I can't get it. Because I want to finish doing what I'm doing. Because unfortunately, the shipping is so damn expensive. It's not, you want to have everything in the box. I have
to. I know you're refusing, but I have to at least help with the fees on that, Mark. And can you believe how far we've come? Where I was reading so fast that I sounded like an auctioneer and I was tripping over myself and I was so scared that I was making the show too nerdy and that people would make fun of it and that they would hate that I was reading from the book. And then as it turns out, there are about 200 people that want me to read that book to them. And then they want to listen to Clobby and everyone else talking about what's in the book. Can you believe they actually liked it? I even after almost, I think we're almost at like a year and a half or 2 years. I cannot believe that happened. I was so scared. And what a transformation. People love the books. They love to have books read to them.
Oh,
no, it's great. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.
Great info in there.
Thank you for those kind words, Captain Cockney Spock. They mean a lot to me, brother. You're very kind to see some channels have brain. That would be Raquel, of course. In this case, some channels have a heart. I don't know. That would be Mark. Neither. Clobby and Co. manage both. I don't have a heart myself, but thank you for saying that anyway. Thank you.
He's not. That's not
I try not to have one.
He's the best. Not only is he brilliant, but he has a heart of gold.
Yes,
thank you all so much for being here tonight. We're going to let you run, and we're going to just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And please, everyone, have a wonderful and safe rest of your night, and have a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you all at Saturday Night Star Trek, folks. Until then, please enjoy these important messages and the credits. Clobber on, clobberers. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Crap, 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 crap.